Hello, 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 and welcome to Vlogcast number 10. I'm your host, pizowell. With me tonight, I'm joined by Rambo Raff. How are you doing, Rambo?
Doing well. Thanks for inviting me to be a part of this. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, sir. And joining me tonight as well is Jay the Stingray, who is actually playing some Friday the 13th the game right now.
I just got killed.
Oh!
How did he die?
How'd you die?
I got an axe in the head.
Ooh. So let's see, was that, which Jason was that?
I didn't notice. I think it may be part 7.
Okay, part 7. Okay.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be able to do this pretty seamlessly, but I don't think so. It's
Yeah.
I'm not able to focus.
You've got to really be able to multitask to do both. And but I do believe Jay the Stingray was actually playing with B-Movie Mike. So maybe when B-Movie Mike either gets killed or maybe he'll hop on too, so we can talk about movies and stuff. But yeah, how have you guys been? How's your summer been so far?
Good. Can't complain. Can't complain at all.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can complain about the movie selection. That's about it. It's been pretty slow run-ins, I think.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I was going to do this like summer movie show like weeks ago, and it just totally slipped my mind because where did May go? May like flew by, and there were like, it didn't seem like there were that many big movies came out last month. I mean, there was, the Fate of the Furious, there was Alien Covenant, there was I already, I mean, that's the only two that can. Baywatch, of course, yes.
Man, we're talking some heavy hitters there.
And the new Pirates movie.
The new Pirates movie. Yep. But yeah, summer is like right upon us, and I don't know. May just came and went super fast. So, DJ Donnelly is commending you on your new haircut, Stingray.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we were talking about Friday the 13th, the game, before we actually went live, and why don't we go ahead and talk about it? It's definitely something that a lot of horror fans and a lot of gamers have come together. It's like the most popular game, period, right now. What's been your experience with Friday the 13th, the game so far, Stingray?
Man, I think it's really fun. It's got a lot of problems, though. I think kind of the same thing everybody's saying. I really try to cut these guys a break, but, the excuse is kind of getting old, like you were saying. It's unfortunate, but, maybe this is just kind of maybe something I can work out. And,
yeah,
it's going to be better in the future, hopefully.
Maybe it's one of those things that if you haven't bought it yet, maybe wait like a month and then see how it is. If there's DLC or if there's fixes or because we weren't recording, but you guys were talking about all the servers and problems and all the reasoning they give about how we're such a small company,
right?
Poor us, all that stuff.
Right. Well, and I've heard a lot of people say that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to wait until they get all the kinks ironed out. And I appreciate how transparent they've been with the community and how they've come out and admitted, like, hey, we've got these issues, we're working on them. I think we're beyond the excuse of, hey, we're a small dev team at this point. And it's to the point now where people are like, look, I don't care how big a dev team you are, I don't care how small a dev team you are, I bought a product and the product's not working, I'm going to complain about it. But they have made the game now it's playing 1,000,000 times better than it was day 1 and day 2. And when the game is functioning properly, or when you're playing in a private match with friends, it's a lot of freaking fun. So yeah, I've had more fun playing Friday the 13th the last 2 days than I have any other game that I can think of in recent memory. There's nothing more satisfying than when you're playing as Jason and you get that kill And it's a super gory kill. It's the crotch chop, or it's you squeeze the counselor's head until their head just explodes. I was actually telling my girlfriend about it the other day, and I know I had like a huge grin on my face and like a gleam in my eye, and I was like, and then I chopped her right in the crotch, and she's just like, and she's like stared at me, and she goes, "You're sick," and like I was like, "Yeah, I am, but I love this freaking game." They have. I mean, I'll commend Gun Media. They're moving in the right direction. It may be slow, but they're moving in the right direction. And the game now is it's a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, I downloaded it last Friday, and for PS4, and it was it was a mess. I tried to play all weekend. I played. Just a handful of matches over the course of the 3 days. Or 3 or 4 days, the holiday weekend. Mm. And it was just, wait times were crazy, just to even be able to get into a match to play the game. And then once I did that, the match would end early, because somebody would leave or, whatever would happen, something would crash. But
yeah. There's still some weird buggy glitches and stuff, like funny things, weird animations and stuff. The hair, the female counselor's hair, it does some crazy stuff in that game. Let me tell you. I think it's a lot of the problems have been on console. The game was optimized a lot better on PC, I think. As a matter of fact, the first time I played it was on PC. They gave me early access to it, and it ran pretty well on PC. But a lot of the issues with the servers and stuff seems like that's. Are you dying? Are you dying?
He's trying to Jason's grip.
Trying to stab him in the neck.
Oh, have you got the? Have you
crashed? They crashed.
Oh, the game crashed.
Yeah, lost connection.
Just as he was talking about crashing,
it
just crashes again.
Exactly. Yeah. That sucks, man. That sucks.
How many times has it crashed on you since you've gotten it? If you had to make an estimate, last Friday you said you got it.
A large percentage of the time. It has gotten better. This week has been a lot better than it was, but. I would say maybe 35-40% of the time. And that sucks because you don't get your points. You get these achievement points that you use to level up, and you don't get that, even though, you may do a lot of stuff in the game, which sucks.
And what'll happen too, if you're playing as Jason and like say your connection dies or the game drops you or whatever, the game's just over for everybody else. It just ends. It doesn't assign another Jason. You're just done.
So how often do you get to play as Jason? I don't know. I know it's random, but it seems like more longer than usual. You have to.
Well, here's the when I was playing the PC version, I was Jason 3 of the 4 first times I played the game.
Okay.
On console, I've been Jason, and I've played a ton of matches. I've been Jason, selected to be Jason once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you do a private game, you can select who is Jason. And that
you can choose to be chosen as one or the other more often. See, I like to play as a counselor, so I've got it to where I'm the counselor most of the time. Maybe 1 out of 10 times, I'll be Jason.
I actually prefer playing as Jason because if you're especially if you're on a public server and you're a counselor and you're the only one actually trying to do anything other than run and hide, then you're screwed. You're the one that's left looking for all the ways to escape, and you doing that by yourself can be very difficult. So
do you think they should have waited till October to release the game along? Make it run smoother or more of the stuff?
Honestly, yeah, they probably should have beta tested it at least one more time. A more open beta test for more people.
It's had a beta for a while, hasn't it?
Well, it had a beta a while back, but it was a closed beta. Yeah, it was just for the people who backed the game. I think they should have had a more open beta. Like they should have had just like a weekend where they said, okay, guys, if you want to download it and play it for 48 hours. Let us know how it works. You know, but that would have helped substantially, I think. So, but you know, when the game is playing right, it's a hell of a lot of fun. When the game's not playing right, it's very, very frustrating and tedious.
It also seems like maybe they should have waited in order to be able to implement that single player just for, okay, if you can't get into a match, then maybe in the meanwhile you can go play a single player game and then maybe come back to that. But if you can't get into it, then there's no game right now for those who can't get into a match.
Yeah.
That's the problem with multiplayer when it's just multiplayer only. But
yeah. And you know, there's a lot of people out there who just don't want to play multiplayer. They want to do solo. They want to do the campaign, or they want to do, you know. So I don't know. Cameron's joined us. How are you doing, Cameron? Having some dinner there?
Yeah, I just got in. Came in, saw your link. I felt like I was living a teenage dream, man. Let's just do this. Let's go all the way tonight. No regrets, just love. No, I'm so anxious. Been wanting to talk to you guys forever. It seems like it's been a long time since the Sausage Factory show, and I've been watching all your reviews for the Friday the 13th game, Piz, and they're I don't know, like I love being able to watch you guys play this stuff because you guys are kind of beta testing it for me. Right. I'm like, I see all the things that are going wrong with the game, and I'm so happy I haven't paid for it just yet. So well, it looks good. The graphics are fantastic, I gotta say.
They definitely put a lot of effort into making the game look and sound and feel like Friday the 13th.
I'll tell you where all that Kickstarter money went was to make sure that the girls' booties look really nice. Because they've definitely achieved that. I give them a big thumbs up on that.
They definitely did that, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I've actually got another kind of a follow-up to my initial thoughts on the game video coming out probably tomorrow or so. But it's getting there, Cameron. I'd say, you know, if you wanted to go ahead and buy it now, it wouldn't be a bad time to buy it now because they're working hard on fixing it, and every day it gets better.
And it will update, like their changes will update the game so
automatically.
Like, okay,
yeah,
that's good.
But it does you'll have to install the update.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. You know, with my experience with a lot of games, you know, early on, usually the servers are just full of people because there's a big group of the population just buys whatever new game is out, plays it for a week, and then move on to something else. So, I mean, here in a couple of weeks, and we should be better anyway because there'll be less people on the servers.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I guess based on past experiences.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's a very popular game. It's a new game. There's a lot of people playing the game and streaming the game on YouTube just for views. Once that cools off, of course, they'll go away. And then the real Friday the 13th fans will be playing the game.
Hey, this is how I feel about the new Twin Peaks. You know, everyone's talking about it now, but in a few weeks, all those people will be gone, and only the hardcore people will be left. So.
There you go. Yeah. The bandwagon. The bandwagon.
Yeah, if they can make it through that first 4 episodes, they're hardcore fan for sure.
Sure.
DJ Donnelly wants to know: can you have sex in the game? That would be a nice DLC bonus in the future. There's plenty of tents and beds in the game, so yeah.
So Jason, if you're low on health,
but you can't have sex with Jason though, right? I mean, that's that.
No.
See, that should be a bonus round.
You can kill Jason in the game. It requires some big rigmarole of you got to do certain things certain ways.
Yeah, you have to get the sweater, and then you have to have another guy be Tommy Jarvis, and then
knock his mask off, and
yeah.
I think that's one of the things you can do. I haven't been able to do any of it yet.
Yeah,
don't forget, there's only one way you kill Jason, and that's bad box office. So
that's that's true. Or you hand the property over to Platinum Dunes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I was going to say earlier. At least we're talking about the franchise again, man. Is they're not going to make another movie? So I mean, gosh, you know. But last night we were in there was a few of us in a party, and there was a lot of other folks, you know, we didn't know on there, and there was a young kid. I don't know how old he was, but you know, definitely had not hit puberty yet. wanting, to remake the movie now with better graphics, is what he said.
Nice.
And then I think Orc said they already did remake it. He said, so what if they remake Friday the 13th? And he said, no, they already did remake it. I said, when? 2009? Oh, we need to do it again. We need to remake it again.
I don't want to. I'm not going to mention any names here because I don't want to spread any too much ill will. But I thought it was funny. I was driving, listening to some horror podcasts, and there's a pretty prominent one where they had a guest host that he seems to know what he's talking about most of the time, even though he's a little arrogant. And one of the questions was, what's a horror movie confession for us? That you've never shared with anybody. And his confession was that he's never seen any Friday the 13th past part 4. And I'm like, this is a specialist? He's never seen a Kane Hodder Jason movie in his lifetime?
Wow.
I don't know. Right there, I'm kind of like, maybe I should tune out now.
Yeah, definitely not much of a specialist.
You just lost your street cred, buddy.
Yeah. Let me give some shout outs here. Jason Hamilton says, "What's up? How you doing, buddy?" Voorhees chasing ghosts. My buddy Jules is watching us tonight. STE Porter, how's it going? Perry Maida, Kisai Sith Janari is tuned in. Let's see what people are saying about Friday the 13th, the game. Uber Jason would be a nice addition to the game. I do agree. Joseph Perdue's watching with us tonight. How are you doing, buddy? Kisai wants a part 5, Jason. Let's bring Roy in the game. Let's bring Demon in the game.
I would just be happy with a finished game. Now I understand they had to release the game because of some kind of Kickstarter rule or something, right? It was part of the campaign where they had to produce and release the game by a certain date.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
But and it was only 39 instead of 59. And I do have fun playing it, although it's a beta. It's just a glorified beta is all it is. But it's fun. And I'm looking forward to more, but right now it's very, very limited.
Yeah.
But I think
Mike, what was that? Go ahead.
I say they got the feel.
Yeah.
Right. It feels like you're in a movie, like the Friday the 13th movie. And although there haven't been many Friday games, it's definitely the best. But could be a lot better. But hopefully, but there's hope there. It has a lot of shortcomings, but I think it's good enough to overcome them. Mm-hmm. And there's a glimmer of hope that it's going to be really, really good when they get done with it.
Yeah, so, the game has unlimited potential, I think, and the Gun Media guys, the game's getting better every day. They're working hard on it. I believe that, and I have faith that the game's just going to get better and better, and they're going to add more to it, and it's going to be one of those games that. Hopefully a year from now, 2 years from now, we're still playing. They're still supporting. They're still adding content.
I hope they don't nickel and dime us to death with, oh, you want this? That's $5. Yeah. Oh, that's $10. Oh, that's what I mean. I see potential for that.
Yeah.
But I also see potential for a really good game. It's weird. There's some visual thing that you can tell they watch the movies. They like the movies, and they're fans.
Right.
But if you're a really nerdy geek about the movies, you can pick out little things that they got wrong, but it's nothing major. I think overall it's 80% accurate. I think they misunderstood maybe, or maybe it's just the limitations of the 4-man team and the budget. But you have a gaming community that doesn't appreciate it when you release unfinished games.
Right.
And then you have the Friday the 13th community, which, like us, we do shows about, 4-hour shows about these movies. And we have all the movies on Blu-ray, all the movies on DVD. We have, all this stuff. There's no physical copy. Again, maybe budgetary limitations, but I think they missed out on an opportunity because, there's a big gaming community. There's a big movie community. A lot of Friday the 13th fans, the hardcore ones, are going to want, the collector's edition game with a poster or something. I think they really could have hit pay dirt if maybe there was just not enough people involved. But I don't know, when you have Cunningham involved, you have Savini involved, you have all these people, Manfredini, your hopes get up. Oh, now that the official people are on board, we're going to see some real,
But there might
some real
be.
good stuff here.
I don't know all the details, but it sounds like there's one thing that's not involved. And that's Paramount. Maybe Paramount won't let them release a physical copy.
Well, I think the whole thing with the physical copy was to keep the price down.
Okay.
But I would have gladly paid. There are collectors out there that would have gladly paid another $20 to get, the Blu-ray version, basically. The disc with the, the artwork. I mean, we have shelves full of that crap.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it definitely would have went perfectly right in the collection. So, I mean, there are people that go out and hunt down the old NES game just with, it's got to be complete in box. They don't understand the collector's mentality or something.
Yeah.
I think they missed out on a couple of areas, but the game is still good enough to overcome all of its flaws, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
Yeah. Well, I was actually telling the guys about your very first game last night, Mike? With you hiding in the closet?
Dude, first game, never played it, didn't read the directions, just jumped in. Boy, that was some prison sex I won't forget.
Yeah, that was and speaking of prison sex, Orc has joined.
Maybe that's me. What's up, big boy? How you doing?
Orc was there for some goodness last night.
Orc was there for a while too. I think Orc's very first game, we selected him to be Jason, his very first game.
Yep.
Yeah, I was swinging like a blind Babe Ruth. Fucking, they're like, "Oh my God, it's Jason!" And I'm like,
And he
"Look
took
at
that
how
whole
I'm doing."
teleportation thing to the next level when he just disappeared.
Yeah, exactly.
He was going to kill me. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Where'd he go?
Ricky O says that a physical copy of the game, where'd that go? It's coming later.
That's what it says on their website. I mean,
Okay.
I was, I'm in the forum sometimes looking at stuff, and the guy basically said beyond the pre-orders, he wasn't sure how many physical copies were actually going to be made because they don't really have the facilities or the budget to produce, that many,
Right.
to put them in the stores. So, it may not ever happen that you can go into GameStop or Walmart and pick up a copy because they may not make that many.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we were talking about this before the show started too. And if you go on their Facebook page, anybody who even very, very respectfully says, come on, guys, I'm tired of the excuses. I was a Kickstarter backer. I've not gotten my rewards. The game's broken. It's been a week. When are you going to fix this? They are immediately and just viciously attacked by people saying that, calling them whiners and crybabies and other.
Bro, this is the greatest fucking game ever made.
Exactly.
You don't appreciate it, bro.
Exactly. And I think to myself, you know what I mean? I'm like, thank God that the developers aren't listening to these people, because if all they're hearing from these people are the game's perfect, the game's awesome, the game's great, they're going to go, the game's awesome, the game's perfect, the game's great. Let's move on to something else and leave us with a broken game. So, constructive criticism is not a bad thing. And we mentioned this earlier as well. We're tired of the excuses, just fix the game. But they are fixing the game, and the game's getting better every day, I think.
Yeah. As soon as the multiplayer thing where you can find matches without waiting for a half an hour. I mean, I was playing earlier before I jumped on here, and it's just constant waiting to connect. No single player option. So, right now, not only is it buggy because I got killed one time as Tommy Jarvis, and I think Stingray put up a photo of my dead body floating in the air.
yeah.
Not only is it a little bit buggy, but it's limited in as what you can do. But it's so good, it just makes you want to play again and again. But and you sit there watching that thing spin 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's like, come on, man.
I had one where the game stuttered. I've actually recorded the footage too. The game stuttered, and I was floating 10 feet above the floor in a cabin with an axe stuck through my head like this. The handle was stuck through my head. And I'm floating around, and I'm going, what is going on here? And then I just die. And I fall into the wall. And I've seen some really weird, glitchy, laggy things with the game. really weird glitches with the game that are kind of funny. There was one where I was closing a dresser drawer and my animation glitched up in that animation. So I was stuck like this for the rest of the game, like sliding back and forth and sideways until Jason finally caught me and killed me.
I remember a match last night. I'm trying to get the controls going, right? I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. The camera's jumping all over the place. I'm running. Next thing you know, I'm looking right at my character's face and I can't see anything else. Disorientating is a word.
Disorienting, yeah.
For trying to run, because it's very clunky, you know, do I want to close the door or open the door? No, I didn't want to do that. You know, there's lots of little, and it can get you killed. And meanwhile, your compass only has north on it, which is okay unless you're being chased by Jason and you can't see what the hell's going on. Because then you get very disorientated and it doesn't matter.
And you've got me yelling at you going, go southwest, and you're going, I only see north.
Yeah. And I'm like poking Jay with a fire.
I see north,
and he's like, dude, why are you killing me?
Let me talk to Orc here for a second. Orc, real talk. How are you doing? How's your health status?
Currently I might be better by like early August. So I'm just gonna this whole year is just gonna be a write-off. That's what we're aiming for, boys. All right. But
2018.
yeah. What's up?
Here's to 2018.
Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, I'm pumped for September and October, as we are every year. But
You still there?
Are you there?
See, that's what he did last night.
Yeah, see, he's having some bad weather up in Maine.
Oh,
and I think
okay.
yeah.
And what happened last night? You
He was Jason and he was going to kill me and he just disappeared.
His connection broke and then the game just ended.
okay.
Yeah.
There was someone in the comments that said that if Jason pulls you out of a car, you disappear. You become invisible. It was just in the comments. So.
Probably one. I remember one. Be surprised that one glitch happened.
got so excited, my shit closed. Holy fuck!
Well, Orc, so you're hoping to be fully recovered by August, you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how are you?
Next season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how are you liking the Friday the 13th game so far?
I like it. I've only played like 4 matches, noobing it out. But I'm trying to find a good time when, you know, there's a good amount of people I know, friends list wise, that are online.
Okay.
But I've just been using a standing desk for my PC, and then I'm just like watching like 30-minute TV shows like Eastbound and Down, Vice Principals, Trailer Park Boys is fucking hilarious. I don't know how it took me this long to watch it. But you know, just stuff like that. I can't really watch like a 3-hour epic at the moment, not just because I'm like I get sidetracked, just because it's like difficult to just stand in one spot for 3 hours. Yeah. So.
Jason Neal, my buddy Jason Neal's joined us. He says, I'm late to this, but I'm sure you guys have already trashed Alien Covenant. Not yet.
We haven't even mentioned it. We're talking about Friday 13th, the game.
That trashing is coming, sir, so just stay tuned.
How's the Dead Space 2 playthrough going on? I see you playing it sometimes.
Yeah, loving it. First time I played Dead Space, a lot of fun.
You're playing 2? Part 2?
Yeah.
I think I like 2 better.
Yeah. I mean, I like the first one, but Dead Space 2 is definitely a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I think the third one is when they added all of that. You have to, you know, upgrade your character and all that shit. You have to.
Yeah, you build all these weapons.
I hate all that stuff.
That is bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, you can pay a lot of money and get all the stuff right now, or you can wait and do it by actually playing the game.
I'd rather just play the
You
game.
like me, unlock everything, have no life, just like sit, like glued to your fucking computer chair. Woo!
Well, Orc, tell us about some dank memes you've seen lately.
Dank memes. There was this one swag meme that Jay posted. It was a cat riding a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That was fucking dank as fuck. I almost pissed myself looking at it.
That was pretty dank. That was pretty
dank. I mean, sometimes, like, you know, when you get to the wrong part of YouTube, I mean, obviously that's what this show's like, well, TSF is based around. You get into that, like, weird part, and you're like, you've just been watching videos for, like, 30 hours straight. You're like, how the fuck did I get here? Well, that's kind of how dank memes go, and memes in general. You're just like, okay, know your meme. Okay, what's this? Okay. Whoa, I didn't mean to be here. NSA, whoa, we're tracking my shit. What's going on?
Also, I wanted to put the word out there to all the ladies. Orc is single and ready to mingle. So,
Oh yeah.
all you available ladies or all you ladies looking for a little thing on the side, hit up Orc.
Hit me up, whitetrashypeoplemeet.com. Let's go, boys.
There you go. Well, let's move away from the gaming talk and let's get into some movie talk here. And I wanted to start off by mentioning Powers Boothe, who passed away recently, and he was one of those guys like Bill Paxton, where you didn't really realize just how much he'd been in and how good he'd been in everything until after he was gone. He was one of those venerable character actors who he was so good in everything that you almost took it for granted. But at the same time, he had that kind of your eye just went to him. You know what I mean? He had that kind of magnetism. But such a great actor and in so many good movies. You know what I mean? Very sad that he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
well,
definitely
go
knew how to
ahead.
pick the right projects. Definitely will be missed. Yeah, like you said, you don't realize how many movies he's in until he's gone. You look at his IMDb, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This is going to be.
And how many of those movies I watched the absolute crap out of growing up? Rapid Fire, Tombstone. I'd forgot he was in Frailty, and then I was like, "Oh my God, how could I have forgotten he was in Frailty?" Sin City. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, I love Southern Comfort.
Oh
That's
yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah. But what were you going to say, Stingray? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I mean, this guy's just a little bit younger than my dad, and these guys are really going to be dropping off. I mean, a lot of these people that we grew up watching.
Mm-hmm.
Are really gonna. It's like a daily thing now. I mean, so really unfortunate.
And you always get the douchebags. Like I was watching this like sports talk radio show, and they're like, and all the people who say R.I.P. and blah 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 blah. It's like you didn't even know the person. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Just because I'm not a cuck like you, and I want to remember someone. Sorry for having a heart.
Well, I mean, you can pay your respects for someone that you didn't know, but that you respected. Why not?
I mean, just
like I didn't know Michael Jackson.
You don't have to know somebody to, feel empathy toward their, for their family, for their passing, especially if they've, been a part of your life, like an actor or a musician or something, where, it's part of your life, at some point in time, and you feel, something when it happens. I mean, I don't understand the negativity about it. You're trying to be positive. You're trying to say, hey, it's unfortunate he passed away. That's sad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people,
yeah.
They're dipshits. And
Yeah,
Pretty
I agree.
much. Yeah.
It's a lot easier to be negative than it is to be positive. I tell you,
It's true.
yeah, it
That's
is.
true.
a lot of shitty people out there.
Yeah.
I've seen to be meeting a lot of them on Friday the 13th game too.
Oh, dude, man. The trash
Did
talking
Jay
on the
want to tell
server.
you guys about the kid we were in a lobby with last night?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I've really not encountered that many people like that in public games.
Then you
Most
get
of them have been pretty. Most of them
middle
have been
school
really.
know-it-alls. It's like, so how many people in this lobby has actually seen one of these movies?
Bro, you got to get the machete and whack him on the fucking head a few times. Then he'll go down. Then you get the cops. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Did you do your
And
SAT?
they critique you as you're playing. It's like, it's like my second game, asshole. What the hell? I can't help it. I have a life. Screw
Why
you.
did you swim in the water? The boat was there for the taking. It's like, okay, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's not cool when they're mocking Jason. That's not supposed to happen. It's bad.
Jason, one of the funniest things I saw was Jason chasing a counselor around a table, literally just They were doing that. It was like
Yeah.
they needed Benny Hinn music. It was pretty funny, but you know.
And that's where some of the controls. I mean, Jason's big and slow, and you get stuck in a swing cycle, and you got somebody that's a female character. They can just run around you, and you're like trying to swing at him. You look stupid, right? And
There
they're
was
like,
another kid. He said,
"I'm
this,
over
I
here," and then they can run faster. It's like, come on.
Another kid said this. I shit you not. He was like, and meaning the 2009 movie. He was like, "Did you guys see the Friday the 13th?" You know, and he was like talking about the most recent one. He's like, "I hope they remake it," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah, no, we don't need that.
Better graphics, though.
Better graphics.
Better graphics. Oh God. Jason Hamilton, Piz, do you own a Crash Cunningham hockey mask? I do not own a Crash Cunningham replica hockey mask. Crash Cunningham's a really nice guy, though. He actually donated a Friday the 13th Part 5 mask when we did our Friday the 13th Part 5 commentary on the Sausage Factory to give away. So, very nice guy. I also wanted to mention the passing of two rockers. Shockingly, Chris Cornell, who took his own life, and Gregg Allman, who passed away a couple of days afterwards. And it's funny. Well, I shouldn't say it's funny. It's kind of sad, really. You know, I was thinking back on the voices of my generation. You know what I mean? And they're all dead except for one, and they all died at their own hand in one way or the other. And I was thinking about what does that tell you about my generation? But yeah, I was just, and Chris Cornell just, I'd seen a lot of interviews with him. He seemed to have it together. You know what I mean?
Well, people that suffer from depression for a long period of time learn how to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
They become actors. What they're feeling inside is not what they project. So that's why it's like such a shock. But
that's why like comedians always surprise you. When you find out they're horribly depressive people, it's like, well, you mask it really well.
And then he also had, alcohol and drug issues earlier in his life, and dealing with sobriety and depression, and they can't see what we see. There's musicians everywhere that would love to be where he was at, to have the success he had, and he's thinking he's got nothing. He's got no reason to live, but for somebody else, he's got every reason. And that's the sad thing. It blinds you to reality and makes you think differently. It's really horrible.
Well, and his wife came out and said that she thought that it was a complication of a medication that he was taking, which is because of the line of work I'm in, I know way too much about freaking medications. And he was taking a benzo, which is kind of like a Xanax. And those pills, if you take too many, or if you mix them with alcohol, they can cause all sorts of wacky brain chemistry. And, that's also one of those medications where there's so many medications that people take for mental health that have one benefit and a million side effects. And a lot of people who take particularly mental health medications,
not me. It
shortens their lives, but it gives them a quote unquote higher value of life for what life they have, because there's so many. I mean, I'm sure you've seen those commercials where it's like, you'll hear the side effects. They say them really fast. They say them really soft, but it's like 5 minutes of side effects.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of medications that people who have mental health disorders take. And when you forget that you took one this morning and you take another one, or you have a couple of drinks and you go, oh gosh, I probably shouldn't have taken those drinks.
Mm-hmm. Or you make some.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could have taken one in the morning and forgot and been like, oh crap, I need to take this. And then by the time he realized he doubled up, it was too late. And it's very possible he had no idea what he was doing, or he was so overwhelmed with sadness and depression in that moment because his chemistry was just all screwed up upstairs that
Yeah, there
he
were
took his
some
own life.
texts at that show that said that that knew him well and said that he was off the whole night. That wasn't him. That was on stage that night. Even at the show, he was different.
Yeah.
They could, they didn't know why. He just kept saying he was tired, so they just blew it off that maybe he was tired, but he didn't have the energy. He didn't give the performance. He just wasn't himself.
Yeah.
And maybe it was he took one too many, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Or again, if he was taking, mixing medications, or there's just so many side effects to those medications that it's a very there's a very sensitive balance up here, and when you start throwing medicine in there and you start throwing alcohol in there, it can just totally screw up your wiring, and bad things happen.
It's funny you say based on your work, because based on my work too, it's like people who say they want to kill themselves or they're going to kill themselves rarely do.
Right.
Because if you decide you're going to kill yourself, you're just going to do it. You're not going to announce it to anybody,
Right.
And that's why a lot of these things come as such shocks and surprises, because there's no lead up to it. It's just like, it's not like weeks and weeks. Well, we heard he's really depressed. No, it just comes out of nowhere, because that's just what happens.
Yeah.
Then you have the people that drop little clues. Like Kurt Cobain, like 6 months, I think, before he died, they had that song, I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. And he had various lyrical clues that he was thinking. He had a heroin addiction, he had stomach ulcers, he was married to Courtney Love. I mean, the reasons were massive, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't a shock. I kind of felt bad for him, though.
Well, and
I got to see him in concert before he died, and that was pretty cool.
What's funny is, like, all those bands, those Seattle bands, when you go back and you look at their lyrics, they're all about being sad. They're all about being addicted. They're all about depression. They're all about being suicidal. And Cobain killed himself. Cornell killed himself. Lane Staley he basically killed himself. I throw Scott Weiland into the mix. He wasn't a Seattle guy, but I loved Stone Temple Pilots right around that same time. Drug overdose.
Then you look at the guys from the 80s, the quote-unquote hair metal guys. They're still alive and partying and doing tours.
Yeah.
Happier than ever.
Nikki Sixx has probably got 3 needles in his arms, in both arms right now. You know what I mean?
On stage.
Why isn't Seattle in that area up there? I mean, it is considered one of the most depressive areas of the entire country, because it sees so little sun. It rains like 60% of the year. It's just,
there's these things called U-Hauls, and there's things called Florida. Boom, problem solved.
But I mean, that is true. It's also there's from documentaries that I've seen about the whole Seattle sound, the grunge. They all came from very depressed areas as well. Financially and economically, and then you combine that with drug addiction. You combine that with the fact that it rains there most of the year, and you've got some pretty messed up people.
It's like one of the only places in the world that has worse weather than London.
Right.
But Mike, see, near me, San Francisco, people come there to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. Where you are, people actually travel to Disney World to kill themselves, because they think it's ironic to do it at the happiest place on earth.
Wow.
That's like, it's in the top 5, like most places where people commit suicide. Disney World is one of them.
Well, guys, I mean, for Washington, look no further than Bruce.
Yeah. He's got issues.
Bruce, you're the man.
Yeah. We need to we might need to keep an eye on Easy E.
I love you, buddy.
That's a beautiful place. I'd love to go up there.
Also, Gregg Allman, and I was a huge Allman Brothers fan. I actually got to see Gregg Allman in a very, very intimate venue in Tennessee a few years ago, and it was great. It was great. Very sad that he passed away as well. A lot of, he's just a Southern rock icon, and another guy who, spent most of his life on drugs. So, there were probably a lot of people out there who were like, he died like 20 years ago, you know what I mean? But
and him and it was his brothers, right?
Dwayne.
They are the I totally forgot what the band is called, but they were the band that Cameron Crowe was with, that Almost Famous is based off of.
Ah,
Yep.
So
okay.
yeah.
Cool. Well, why don't we let's continue the depressing train going, and let's talk about Zack Snyder leaving the Justice League because, of course, his daughter committed suicide.
That's right.
That's very sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
She was only 20 years old,
Yeah.
Wow.
and committed suicide. The film is done. They're going to do some reshoots.
And they got the best man for the job.
They've handed the reins over to Joss Whedon, which Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon seem like they come from very different film schools, but I don't know. But I think however you feel about Zack Snyder, horrible news, and I mean, got to be absolutely devastating for him and his family. And I totally understand. I forget the exact quote, but he said something to the effect of, these are multi-billion-dollar movies. They take 2 years of your life to make, but at the end of the day, they're just a movie. It's just a movie. This is real life.
Yeah.
So
it's like I've told a lot of film students, independent filmmakers, your movie, no matter how good it is, every movie ends up in the $5 Walmart bin.
Right.
So look at it that way. And but you talk about them being different filmmakers, and they are. But if you can have Zack Snyder's epic action scenes, and then Joss Whedon comes in and shoots maybe 20, 25 minutes of character moments, character beats, that'll blend in beautifully.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm not sure. Now they said the thing was finished, but they're going to do some reshoots. I'm not sure how extensive those reshoots are going to be. But Joss Whedon is guiding the ship from here on,
and he is in charge of the editing, the post-production of it.
Yep.
So I mean, and we all know of Joss Whedon, if you're a fan of his shows, he knows about tone and balance. So if something just completely off, he'll fix it. So I mean, it's very sad. Every person who wanted Zack Snyder out of the WB DC universe didn't want it to happen this way.
Right.
So but I mean, I don't know if you're going to get to this, Piz, but I mean, Wonder Woman's nearly at 100% of Rotten Tomatoes, so there's almost a chance the DC universe can make a comeback with this.
You know what's funny about all this hype for Wonder Woman? It isn't that Wonder Woman is getting good reviews. It's how shocked people are by the fact that Wonder Woman is getting good reviews.
Well,
So
I think at this point, I mean, burnout on superhero movies might be why people are surprised because the DC movies up to this point have pretty much been terrible, and they weren't expecting much from it. And with the fatigue setting in, I think not expecting a good one wasn't really that far. So I guess it would be a surprise if it was good, considering it's DC.
But Warner Brothers took a hell of a risk because they employed Patty Jenkins, who made Monster, which I think is an excellent movie.
Oh yeah.
But she hasn't made a movie in 14 years. I mean, and so they felt such a need that they need to get a woman director in there. They hired someone who hasn't made a movie in 14 years and now has completely, apparently just kicked everybody's asses with this movie. So she's going to definitely get another film very, very soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's amazing. So
Well, I thought Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman was one of the best things about Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
So you have a charismatic lead that handles the role well. All you have to do is build a story around that character and do it right. I mean, apparently they were able to do that. That is kind of surprising.
And did you hear that the movie has been banned in
Lebanon, I think it was.
Lebanon? Banned in Lebanon because Gal Gadot is Israeli.
Yeah.
Lloyd Kaufman, of all people, had the perfect tweet about this today. He said something like, Lebanon's banned Wonder Woman because Gal Gadot is Israeli. LOL. So what? They pirate all their movies anyway. So,
and then I'd be like, reply, LOL, you've never made a good movie. Fuck you.
Got him.
I mean, you know, when people say, "Oh, Gal,"
That's the only way to enjoy Lloyd Kaufman is to pirate his movies.
you know,
I
to enjoy
cringe.
his fucking
Sorry,
films.
Cameron. I just cringe so fucking hard when people are like, I got the latest trauma release on DVD, and they make a video on YouTube, and I'm like, ugh, delete, unsubscribe, quick.
that'll be my next series, Orc.
Oh well, that's
No, I'm kidding.
instant view and like right there. I promise.
No, but people complain. I remember at the time of Batman v Superman, there's like Gal Gadot is so, you know, small, and she doesn't look like Wonder Woman. She's not, you know, this woman was in the Israeli army. She could kick all of our asses.
Yeah.
Isn't she like 6 feet tall?
I don't know.
She's a pretty tall lady, I thought. What is Wonder Woman
But
like?
Wonder Woman's supposed to be in
tall?
Amazon, which like what, 7 feet or something?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't want to see the woman they choose for that role.
It really comes down to this. Most geeks on YouTube that are, you know, considered to be legitimate press at this point, they were banking that Jamie Alexander was going to be Wonder Woman, and she's in the Thor movies, and they kept saying Jamie Alexander, and then of course, you know, DC throws out this Gal Gadot thing, and they all flipped out, and it was almost like less about their reaction to her and more the fact that they had to eat crow like on YouTube for them acting like they knew everything was going to happen, you know. So
I thought she was a little undersized, but she pulled it off. You know, much better than Eisenberg did the Luthor role.
She did. I thought she did really well as Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman. When I first saw her, I was like, you know, I had the same reaction as everybody else, but I have no problem with it at all. And you know, the trailers for Wonder Woman have looked good, I thought. So,
and hey,
you know,
it's good. I'm glad it's good. We want good movies, right?
And remember, I mean, everyone complained back in the late '90s that Hugh Jackman wasn't, you know, 5
Right.
foot.
Yeah, exactly. But he grew into the role.
Well, I mean, I'm on the Wonder Woman wiki, and it says 6 feet.
She is a model, so
in her Wonder Woman boots, it's probably 6 feet.
Yeah,
Let me say,
acts like a model too.
Let me say hello to Jordy Baby. How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Also, our buddy Chris is with us tonight. He says, Chris from Louisiana with you. House is coming along, almost done with renovations. Thanks again for the awareness and help to my family. You're very welcome, man. Good to hear from you.
Very cool.
He also says, love the Stallone reviews, Matt.
Thank you.
I feel really bad for you, Rambo, because like every review that goes up is just like rant as the late rant and like epic rant.
It wasn't on purpose. There's a lot of good Stallone ones.
I'm like, what are you doing to yourself, Rambo? You're like you might as well be doing this in Seattle and get all depressive up there.
There's a lot of good Stallone ones. Just also end with the bad ones, in my opinion. And then Alien Covenant, well, yeah.
Real. We'll get to that shortly. We'll get to that.
Gal Gadot.
Let's talk about Anthony Anderson. Hey, how's it going, man? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Let's move on. Let's talk about Universal's Dark Universe.
Woo!
Are you guys pumped for the new Universal Dark Universe series of movies that's coming out? Starting with, I think they want us to forget about Dracula Awakening or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Untold, yeah. They want us to totally forget about that. And The Mummy with Tom Cruise is kicking off the new Dark Universe. And then they're moving forward with the next movie they're doing is Bride of Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is happening, man? What the fuck?
No, but they got the right director for that movie. They got the right guy for that one.
Bill Condon.
Right. Gods and Monsters.
Bill Condon is directing that. Now here's the lineup. Here's the lineup.
Okay.
Johnny Depp will be the Invisible Man.
Good, he's invisible.
Javier Bardem will play Frankenstein's monster.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need any makeup.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe will be Dr. Henry Jekyll.
It's a good choice.
And he's in the Mummy,
And of course, yeah, he is. And Sophia Boutella is the Mummy. And what I'm thinking is funny is they keep that picture of all of them together prominently had Tom Cruise right in the middle. Mm-hmm. Is Tom Cruise going to be the Van Helsing to this new Dark Universe series?
Either that or he's going to become the Mummy at the end.
Ooh,
Harsh burn.
I don't know.
I don't know. But you know what's funny is that Universal, two things. One is that Universal dropped this trailer, but they didn't use any new footage. It was all the original films from the 30s and the 40s in this trailer. And it's a great trailer. So if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's wonderful. The other thing is that you say Dark Universe. WB says their Justice League Dark is their Dark Universe. And so WB is now suing Universal to get Dark Universe back over to them. So now they're battling over generic titles like Dark Universe. Fantastic.
That desperate for fucking money. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Bill Condon, but also very familiar names like David Koepp and Christopher McQuarrie are also guiding this new Universal Dark Universe, or maybe they may have to change it. But so I mean, there are some competent filmmakers who are going to be guiding the new Dark Universe. So
it's called "Let's copy off everybody else, so we don't have to come up with new ideas."
Well,
remake.
Yeah. Well, Universal looked at their catalog and they said, "We have a universe.
What can we exploit?"
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the thing is though is that they've already all these monsters have already like fought in the 40s, and people seem to forget all that stuff. You know?
So the Godzilla movies are coming back, and speaking of movies that I just had hopes for, but now have been completely dashed, would be King Kong versus Godzilla when they announced the director.
Blair Witch reboots.
My reaction to that was,
what the fuck?
Yeah,
who is it?
Adam Wingard.
Adam Wingard,
who did the Blair Witch remake.
I said to myself,
you're
how do you go from the Blair Witch to King Kong versus Godzilla?
You fail upwards in Hollywood.
Apparently so.
Who did he romance?
His jaw has to be tired.
It gotta be.
I thought they had another. I thought it was the guy who did Trick or Treat. Or is that, did he leave?
No, he's writing it. He's just writing it.
This
he's
guy's done
writing
some
it.
stuff I like. I mean, nowhere near the scale of that, though.
I know. I mean, he's done. He's done a couple of things I like, but I mean, you're talking about going from small budget, more or less indie stuff to what I would imagine to be a enormously budgeted an event picture like Godzilla versus King Kong. Wow, that's a huge leap.
Well, the thing that bugs me about that is, I mean, there's a lot of independent filmmakers now that are raised up to make these billion-dollar movies because they can tell them what to do and boss them around. But Blair Witch, as I could be wrong, but it sure seems like that movie lost money. So I don't know why they would hire him to make their new film. Now maybe it'll maybe it's broken even with a bunch of other stuff, but it certainly was not the hit that Lionsgate was hoping it was. I mean, because that movie was supposed to pave the way for Joe Berlinger to release his director's cut of Part 2, and that didn't happen. So I don't know. I don't know why you would hire Adam Wingard, because I don't think he's going to last. I think he'll leave the project mid pre-production. I'll be surprised if he lasts.
So I don't think there's anything in the Universal Dark Universe that would be, I don't know, more questionable than that.
So are they not going to have a Dracula anymore since they did one and no one remembers it?
They might bring it back. I don't know. But the King Kong and Godzilla has nothing to do with this universe. This is just Universal Monsters.
It's just another monster universe that's popping up.
Right.
They're bringing everything back, basically.
So in this Dark Universe, at the end, are they going to do Monster Squad? Like, with all the monsters again, too?
Bring Abbott and Costello back. Screw it.
And stop Meet the Monsters.
Well, the Fred Decker and who's the other guy that did that co-wrote Monster Squad? The guy from he did
Shane Black.
Both those two guys are writing the new Predator film. So obviously they're still working together, and Predator works out. I know they've talked about doing an update of the Monster Squad for modern day audiences, and that could be fun. I think you could. I mean, I'd rather them do it than Goonies 2. After 30 years. So I think the Monster Squad you could update.
But isn't it good enough the way it is, though? I mean, I don't know.
No, but you could do a companion sequel to it. You look at these other movies, these monsters. I don't see a lot of people seeing an Invisible Man movie with Johnny Depp. No.
I don't see Bride of Frankenstein, maybe. I mean, okay, is Russell Crowe going to have his own Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie, or is he just being in The Mummy as Jekyll and Hyde and that's it? Or
Yeah, because they haven't announced like what the individual films would be. I mean, The Mummy. I mean, yeah, it works as basically people remember it from the Brendan Fraser movie, so that's why they can update that one. But yeah, I
need to. I mean, the first Brendan Fraser movie was actually pretty good, and I don't see anything about this Tom Cruise one from what I've seen from the previews that makes it any better.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't understand the purpose.
Right.
yeah, I like Tom Cruise. I'm not that intrigued by the new one. It's just like, it's not like I think. I don't know.
It certainly doesn't feel like a Universal monster movie, that Mummy trailer. So
No, it's just seemed like a generic action movie that
right.
CGI.
Has that lead actress who plays the Mummy done other stuff? Because she's pretty hot, you know.
She was in Star Trek Beyond.
Okay.
She's really good in that.
Yeah, she's done other stuff. Sorry about my. There was a big streak of lightning and big thunder and everything. The Mummy was coming for me. I guess I don't know.
Oh, there's two of you.
Scientology at your door. Run.
So, okay, Pizzo, do you think this will actually work? This universe thing? Do you actually think it'll be successful? But this,
I don't. You know what?
other...
I think. I think it. At least there's competent filmmakers guiding it. David Koepp, who did Pitch Black, and he did the Riddick movies. Christopher McQuarrie is a talented filmmaker. So, I mean, there's some talented people working on it.
I'm more interested in the fact that David Fincher looks like he's going to direct World War Z 2 than any of this stuff.
Well, I'm sure Brad Pitt's called in a favor there. So,
yeah, but we'll finally get an R-rated version. So.
I don't think an R rating could have helped that movie.
I actually really enjoy that movie, I'll be honest. I was really surprised how much I enjoyed that.
The Trent Reznor score will help for sure.
That's okay. So if you've got David Fincher, you're going to get an R rating, and you're going to get Trent Reznor on the soundtrack. There you go.
And Rooney Mara as the love interest.
I bring it on. I love me some Rooney Mara. Bring it on.
I just want a movie I could never have. Is that in? I don't know. I missed that.
I mean, maybe you guys discussed this while I was away, but I mean, do you guys have any hope for this new Dark Universe series from Universal?
No.
None?
Universes are supposed to, evolve and surprise you. You can't announce a universe because if the first movie bombs, I mean, that's it. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That was the Dracula movie, right? That bomb. That was supposed to be the first. And
yeah. So
we're
reboot.
announcing it again.
But you can't begin any universe with Luke Evans. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen.
No. But I'm going to watch The Mummy when it comes out.
But Piz, let me ask you: when you see the trailers for The Mummy, regardless of the fact if you think it looks good or not, it does not feel like a Universal monster universe movie. No. It feels like Mission Impossible 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies were more reminiscent of that than this one looks like. So
yeah, because they looked at the Boris Karloff movie and they said, let's turn this into Indiana Jones, and it worked.
Right. Yeah.
Man, Ethan Hunt is going on a weird mission this time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys out there watching tonight? Do you have any hope for this new Universal Dark Universe and all the movies they have in store for us, like The Invisible Man with Johnny Depp and The Bride of Frankenstein, directed by Bill Condon, et cetera, et cetera?
Okay, let me ask you, who right now of known actresses, if they go with a known actress, could play the Bride of Frankenstein? And I hope to God it's not Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Ava Green.
Also, did you mention that The Rock is probably going to be the new Wolfman?
No.
Yep.
That's sad.
It's what. I would be more surprised if it wasn't that, though. I mean,
If it wasn't that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you say, that's a shock, right? Feigning.
He's in everything.
I couldn't give less of a shit about what you guys are talking about. I could care less about this.
Back to England.
I actually like that stuff, but if they're trying to make money, they're not going about it the right way.
First of all, The Invisible Man, the original movie, wasn't really that interesting to begin with.
Actually, like
why
that
even
movie.
bother with an Invisible Man movie? I mean,
and Hollow Man did not set the world on fire. So
I like that movie too.
I listen. I like it too, but it was not a box office.
No,
smash.
it wasn't.
So.
The only good Invisible Man is Chevy Chase.
And that was John Carpenter, and even that wasn't that good. If John Carpenter can't do it, what the hell is Johnny Depp going to do?
I'm gonna tell you right now. The only Dracula in my book is Luke Evans.
I thought you were going to say Dracula 2000, Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler was a good Dracula.
Now, there's that movie, but I never saw those 2 sequels. Did you ever see Dracula 3000?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
oh, don't.
I saw Dracula 2 and 3 with Jason Scott.
Is it over
The one with
9,000?
I like them both better than the
Well,
original.
Coolio, stay as far away from that one as you possibly can.
That one is horrible. Now that one is god
3000 with Casper
Yes.
Van Dien.
That one is an abomination. An abomination.
Well, that's what they need Casper Van Dien for.
Oh my god.
But I mean, like they should get some really good directors for this series. I mean, they should bring in some horror guys to do this, or some, I don't know. They can't keep getting all these action directors because that's not what people want to see. If it's a monster universe, you want to see monster movies. But I don't think
who is out there that you would get in today's age.
We both.
Adam
Throws the
Wingard.
blood against the fucking wall. Shoot. Cut.
Well, I think that they got the right person as in Bill Condon for the Bride of Frankenstein, just because Gods and Monsters, that was a pet project of his. He knows everything about James Whale, and he's done enough stuff. I mean, if you discount his 2 Twilight movies he made, but I don't know. I mean, it all depends. The Wolfman with the Rock, I don't know.
It's directed by Rob Zombie.
I thought that was a joke when Pizzow said that. Back
It's
It's
not.
not.
I blocked it out of my head, but he brought it back.
Anthony Hopkins is his dad, just like in the one with Del Toro.
You know
Like,
what?
oh.
That movie is not that bad,
I like it. I like it.
especially if you watch the unrated cut. It's not that bad.
It
The only
could-
thing I didn't like was the CGI. It should have been practical.
It
All
could have been, and it should have been so much better, though.
Oh,
It
yeah.
could have been, it should have been so much better.
It's got my favorite actor, Hugo Chavez.
But it's
All
funny
right.
though, because it's this classy, like, monster Wolfman movie, and all of a sudden he like punches a guy through the chin. You see his claw through his head, and it's like, oh my lord, is this classy, or are we going Sleepy Hollow with this? I don't understand.
But is the universe big enough for another universe? Marvel has been a universe for so long. Are people getting burned out? Is there enough money at the box office to be made? You have DC, now you got the Dark Universe, you got King Kong Godzilla coming back. What's next? It's just going to be Me Too and the Gimme Gimmes from now on?
Well,
I
kids,
hope they got Star
You make
Wars.
$5, I got to get part of it.
I mean, kids have disposable income, but kids don't have disposable income every weekend, and they're dropping these things earlier and earlier. So,
Kids also download this shit for free.
Right.
Give
Right.
me more comic book
We're the ones that pay
movies.
the money for this stuff.
And by kids, you mean orc.
Yes.
And of course, when they make these movies, it's not a $10 million budget. It's not a $20 million. It's a $200 million budget. And they wonder why they lose money, and they keep making them. It's just, it's the dog chasing us.
And Jay, you had a certain disgust in your voice. So what? If
This
people ask
this
you,
whole conversation's got me pissed off, man.
if people ask, what is it that makes you pissed?
Jay is triggered.
That's a good question. I don't know, man. I just know Alien Covenant's coming up, and I'm not looking forward to that either.
oh my lord!
Well, let's talk about something that I think we should be looking forward to, and that's Halloween next year. Now, Danny McBride did an interview that I saw recently where he talked about Halloween. It was actually an interview he was doing to promote Alien Covenant, but the very first thing they asked him was about Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, so is your Halloween movie going to follow Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Is it going to follow Halloween 3 season of The Witch. Where's it gonna fall in the timeline? And he said, we're taking it.
I don't know, bro. Somewhere in there, probably.
And he said, he said, we're going to take it back to Michael Myers. We're going to take it back to the simplistic origins of, Michael Myers is not an unstoppable killing machine. He is just a man. That makes it scarier. And he said that, once they ascribed the human motive of Laurie is Michael's sister and he just wants to kill his sister, that made it much less scary. And the fact that he couldn't die made it even less scary on top of that. So I know a lot of people were, initially it was like, this is going to be a follow-up to Halloween 2. I think it's going to be a follow-up directly to the original Halloween. Because how can you say that you're going to make Michael human again and then follow Halloween 2 when at the end of it he went up like a Roman candle? Now, I mean, you could make the same argument for it. I mean, at the end of part 1, he did eat 6 slugs, but it seems to me like it's going to take place right after the first one.
Well, even Halloween 4, he's bandaged up and he's been in a coma for 10 years, so he still hadn't died.
Are we taking away the fact that he's the boogeyman?
No, I think
wasn't that what made him scary? That you could put 6 slugs in him and he would still disappear. He couldn't be stopped. Was part of. I don't know.
The way that I understood it from McBride was that they wanted to go back to the sensibilities of the first film, where he is essentially he's a human, but he has that kind of force of nature quality about him. He's not going to be able to absorb a bunch of bullets and just keep coming at you. He's not going to be able to walk through flames and come and get you. He'll still be human. He may have those, and keep in mind too, I mean, a lot of that was John Carpenter. A lot of that was John Carpenter and the atmosphere that he was able to create. Now, I don't know how much of that was really in the script, him being a force of nature. It just appeared that, it was, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a real intent in the beginning. It just kind of turned out that way because of the way that it was shot and
it was, but he was human, but what was driving him was inhuman.
Right.
So there was a supernatural element to it, even in the first one.
Right, and they may still have that. They just don't want to have the element of he's killing because he doesn't like his family. He's going after his sister, or he can, like I said, he can take a bunch of. He can't be killed. He's Jason. You can cut his head off. He'll just put his head back on and keep coming at you.
So it'd be just like the first movie.
That's the way. I mean, when I heard him talk about it, I said, this isn't going to follow part 2. This is going to follow part 1.
I'm actually very excited about this because I think in 2017 we're mature enough audience goers now too. I like this idea of, instead of having to follow a series of films, that we can now put a film and create an alternate timeline off of another movie. I know Neil Blomkamp wanted to do that instead of following Aliens 3. He wanted to create his own thing after Aliens. I like this. I mean, if that's what's true. I mean, I never could get behind Michael Myers fights Buster Rhymes, but I could get behind Michael Myers fights Kenny Powers. I mean, I could totally get behind that.
Kenny Powers.
I don't have a problem with them getting rid of the sister angle and whatever. But I just don't mess with him too much, because Zombie did that too much, making him 7 feet tall, making him a bearded hobo. There was too many things trying to explain that, he was the product of an abusive family. His mother was a stripper. That's why he did it.
But Mike, you should be
too much.
You should be so happy that Rob Zombie made those 2 films, because now, because now they can look at those movies and go, well, that didn't work. We're gonna go back this way.
I guess as long as they use those movies as what not to do, then it could be pretty good.
I'm pretty sure they would, because the audience reaction is not. It's mixed.
But I'm skeptical though. I'm skeptical because the zombie films were horrible. Buster Rhymes was horrible. Carpenter has a reputation, all due respect, for taking a paycheck, which is fine. He deserves it.
But the Weinsteins aren't involved.
Was not great. So I'm skeptical. I'll have to see it.
Well, he did say a lot of the right things in that interview. Like they specifically asked him, "You gonna have Busta Rhymes in this one?" And he was like, "No Busta Rhymes in this." And he, when you think of him, you think of a comedy guy. But they were asking him about horror movies, and I mean, he seemed like he was a very knowledgeable horror movie fan. I mean, he was talking about going to the video store and loving the box cover art for Chopping Mall and movies like that, and how when he was a little kid he wanted his dad to buy him Gremlins on VHS, and his dad came home with Ghoulies instead.
Yeah, but so does Eli Roth, but I don't like his movies.
Well, yeah, but
Hey, excuse me, that's Master of Horror Eli
there
Roth.
you go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Master of Douchebag.
He probably makes his family home.
I don't know. I do have some faith in McBride and and David Gordon Green.
Yeah, I don't have much hope anymore, but for Skip from New York and the new Halloween, I mean, I think they're gonna get it right.
I have no reason to put any faith in any of them.
Well, what's the alternative? I mean, what's the alternative? Do we want them to just stop?
There you go. That's a good one.
Okay.
When they canceled the new Friday movie, I wasn't sad. When they said, "Oh, the new Friday movie's been canceled," I was happy.
No, after the new Texas Chainsaw 3D movie, I want them to keep cranking them out, baby. I love
Well, they are. They're making another one.
They did, and it's been buried apparently. So,
with Stephen.
I heard it. I heard it's coming out in October.
Is it going to play a double feature disc with Amityville?
Maybe. Actually, somebody messaged me on Facebook just a little while ago, and they said that they heard that Amityville was finally coming out June 30th.
Redbox.
It may be. So I don't know. Just from hearing Danny McBride talk, and I've heard Eli Roth in interviews, and he says a lot of the right things as far as he's a horror fan and he knows what he's talking about. But I don't know. McBride sort of comes off more genuine about it than he does, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
And again,
Eli Roth, and the gore was so good in this movie, just amazing.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll wait for a trailer. It's just my mind frame is after 8 or 9 Halloween films with Michael Myers. I can't really say I would care if I ever saw Michael Myers again. I guess it's one of those things where I guess it's like when B-Movie might said, "Oh, well, they canceled the Friday 13th." I can't really be excited for another Michael Myers film after 8 or 9 movies, and half of them were not the best. So it's hard to be like, "Oh wow, I can't wait for another movie that might suck," like most of the others, like Rob Zombie's movies. So I wait for a trailer.
I think we'll know a lot more once we start getting in. When we start hearing who they're casting, and for what roles, and I
mean, with the Halloween series, I mean, the Friday the 13th series to me had a larger batch of better movies as far as the subject matter was. I think they knew what they had and they worked it. But with Halloween, the first movie is, head, shoulders, skyscrapers better than anything else that came after it as far as sequels go. I mean, as much as I like part 2, it's not aging well. Part 3, I give it a break because it's a new story, Season of the Witch. I take that out of the mix when I talk about.
Look, Halloween 5 is right there.
But 4, 5, and 6 are. I mean, they're oddities that you can watch for different reasons, but they're not really good.
For reasons.
I'm not a fan of H2O or the Scream version of Halloween.
Yeah.
And the next one with Busta Rhymes was even worse. And then you got the zombie crap. So really, after the first one, it was way downhill.
Right.
So that right there doesn't give me much hope. Because when was the last time we had a really good Halloween movie? 1978.
Well, I mean, Friday 13th, in comparison, it's one of those weird franchises that when you ask a lot of people, the first one is not their favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the first one. A lot of people like the first one, but a lot of people, that's one of the only franchises I can think of that most people would say the first one is not their favorite.
And most people don't consider him to be Jason until part 4. Casual.
So it is one of those weird but kind of interesting things with that franchise. It's very unique. I can't think of another franchise that is like that.
Yeah. Stingray, you look riveted by this conversation. Do you have any hope for Halloween 2018?
He looks like Dan McBride after a session. Pot smoking.
I'm kind of like Mike. I could take it or leave it, man. I don't have any hope, so I mean, if it comes out and it's good, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
I mean, I'm intrigued enough to go see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go see it.
The rest of it is up to them.
I'll be surprised if it happens, and I'll be really surprised if it's worth the damn.
I absolutely think it's going to happen. The Jason Blumhouse, the dude makes movies. I mean, that's all he does. He makes movies.
I won't believe it till I'm begging for UV codes, baby. Let's go.
And it's definitely a brand name that they can easily market to hopefully get a good weekend. Make some profit.
And honestly, I'm glad it's at Blumhouse because they'll keep the budget low. And if the budget's low, that means they'll have to be creative with it. So, I mean, I'm sorry, Rob Zombie, his Halloween never should have been made for $65 million.
Yeah, where'd that money go? Where'd it go? It didn't go
Look who's here to defend the Halloween series. He's here. Eazy-E is here from a depressive Seattle area.
Easy from Compton. He's living in WA. He gets his way. He doesn't like to bill any bill collectors day to day. He's got swag. He's got style. He's the biggest bitch for a mile. That bitch ain't cut. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
My God. My God. Let me apologize to everybody watching.
Got served.
But Eric is here to defend Halloween 5. Go ahead and give it your best shot, Eric.
How about that mask, huh?
No, we're just joking, Eric. He's leaving. He's taking the headset off. He's like, screw it.
It sounds off.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Eric.
Yeah.
Common glitch.
That would technically be the best parts of Halloween 5. That was a brilliant defense. There's nothing you can say.
Well, Tina is the best character in the whole franchise. Dum-da-dum, dum-da-dum-da-dum.
Oh my God.
Hey, Tom Atkins is still alive. Let's have a Halloween 3 Part 2. That'd be something I could see.
That'd be interesting for sure.
Atkins, you got to get he's still around. You got to put him in some movies.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Put that guy in some movies. Yeah.
Last time I saw him was My Bloody Valentine, and he was supposed to be the lead in Drive Angry, and then Nicolas Cage said he wanted to do it, and so he got thrown out. Yeah. I would have loved to see him Drive Angry with Tom Atkins, and
that would have been that would have been awesome. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the scene where the naked woman is on him, the naked woman, and he's shooting everybody? Could you imagine that?
That's Atkins. That should have been him,
and it actually was. I mean. When I spoke with Todd Farmer a few years ago, he said that movie was written and created to be Tom Atkins and Betsy Rue from My Bloody Valentine, the naked woman in the parking lot. Yeah. And that was going to be the two, and they were going to make the movie for very low money. And then Nicolas Cage got a hold of the script, and the movie went up to $100 million budget, and it bombed terribly. Made $5 million opening weekend. But if that movie had been made for $2 million with Tom Atkins and Betsy Rue, that movie would have been amazing.
It wasn't a terrible movie. I actually enjoy it.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Fuck you guys. Bangkok Dangerous is epic. Best movie of all time. Get wrecked.
I don't care what you do with your cock, Orc.
Whoa!
Yeah, when you bang your cock, it's awfully dangerous.
Oh.
Bangkok Dangerous, isn't that the shitty movie with the poster that he's holding his hands out, but there's no guns in it?
On the video store shelves.
Isn't that a remake?
Yeah, and it's like a poster, like he's aiming, but there's no guns in his hand because he put the guns out.
Wait, have you seen it, Rambo?
When I rented when I worked at the video store, and I returned it the same day.
Rambo, you've never done a Nicolas Cage festival, right?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
No, because I would.
He might die halfway through.
When I get to the one when he's like singing the alphabet, like A B C D. What the movie that was? Vampires Kiss.
I can imagine you getting so pissed off you just stroke out on camera.
That's the best part about knowing Rambo is he's seen like every action movie known to man. So he's like the Wikipedia of like.
I'm trying. Nick Cage, oh god. That means I have to watch like Left Behind, whatever the movie's doing.
Yeah. You inspire me because you made it through Steven Seagal. When I wake up and I don't want to do it anymore, I just go, Rambo got the fucking marathon. And then I eat some Cocoa Krispies. And that's how we do it.
Hey, Cocoa
Krispies are dank.
I saw at the store that they actually made a blueberry pancake Captain Crunch.
It's actually
Holy
pretty good.
shit!
Oh snap!
Well, I do what
The
James
donut
does.
ones, man. The donut ones are great.
I do what James
wow.
does. Like I just hoard up on Count Chocula every Halloween. So it's like I enjoy horror movies, but try to get diabetes too at the same time. It's pretty eventful.
Since we're on the topic of flavors, what are we having tonight, Mike?
Oh, let's see here. It's some more of my jam monster stuff. Strawberry,
Okay,
buttered toast, and strawberry jam.
nice.
My favorite
Nice.
stuff so far. Really good.
Oh, cool. Well, let's move on to let's talk about some summer movies. And it's June 1 today. My question is, what happened to May? And
Very fast.
yeah, it went by really fast. And we're already we're already in the summer movie season. We've already had some winners and some losers. We had Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was huge. Pirates of the Caribbean, that just came out last weekend. It's already enormous. Fate of the Furious was huge. The Lego Batman movie was huge. We also had some losers so far in King Arthur, which tanked tremendously, and Alien Covenant, which I know Rambo Wrath absolutely adored that movie.
I love it.
But the attendance is down. It was like the weakest Memorial Day weekend in 20 years.
Wow.
No one
This is
wanted,
shit movies, man. It's not the hell.
nobody wanted to see Baywatch.
No.
No.
Who thought
What
that
the
was a
fuck's
good
happening?
idea for
What's
a movie?
A Baywatch.
I don't know. The last movie I saw in the theater was so bad. I haven't been back since. It's like I want to go. I get ready to leave, and I just can't do it.
What
Was it
movie was
live?
that?
That movie was Life.
Life. I knew it.
Oh,
Now Logan and Kong, that was a nice 1-2 punch. The guy was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'm ready for this summer. It's going to be amazing." And I saw
Get
it.
Out was good, and
And then Life was a punch below the belt.
Right, and in Pirates 5, I don't know. I wanted to go see it.
Did anyone see it?
theater. I haven't seen it yet, but they have a theater that has 4D in Orlando, and I was kind of wanting to check that out, but like $20 a ticket.
Do they
general-
jerk you off
the
or something?
general-
How is it more D's?
Oh, they have. It's like
is that the one where they?
Yeah, they blow mist in your face and that type
they
of
blow the chairs move and they blow crap in your
Oh,
face.
jeez, I wouldn't want that
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
Now, the general consensus on Pirates 5 is that it's a terrible movie, but it's better than Part 4. But the ending is like gets you amped up to want to see Part 6. So it's the worst kind of sequel where you got to slog through. It's awful, but then the ending's good, so you want to see the next one.
And I also heard it was kind of a half-assed remake of the first one.
Yes, it is.
Great. It's The Force Awakens. Only it's Captain Jack Awakens.
Well, who's
There
the studio behind it, Mike?
Disney.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, who besides Johnny Depp's divorce attorney is wanting this movie to happen?
Dude, $45,000 in alcohol a month. Come on.
That adds up.
He likes wine. He has very, very expensive taste.
Eric, can we hear you now?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
there you are.
Good.
There you go. Have you seen any of the big blockbusters that have come out so far, Eric? Guardians 2, Pirates of the Caribbean, Fate of the Furious, or any of the losers, King Arthur, Alien, Covenant?
Baywatch.
You seen any? Baywatch,
I
of
saw
course.
Guardians. Guardians was great.
Yeah.
Anybody else get a chance to see Guardians 2?
Nah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Eric. Did you see
Yeah, I
Guardians
enjoyed
2 because it was Marvel and Guardians 2, or did you go see it because you wanted to see the newest James Gunn movie? Or both?
Oh, I saw it because it was the new Marvel movie. Yeah.
Okay.
James Gunn's great. I like him. I like his other films. I thought Slither was kind of a weird little movie. I enjoyed it. But yeah, no, I saw it because it was, the next in the, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But that was actually my favorite part about it. It was almost kind of like, it was about as kind of standalone of a Marvel movie as they've had since like Iron Man. It was a sequel to the first one, and sure, Thanos' name was dropped, but it was a pretty self-contained story. I thought I liked that aspect of it, oddly enough. And I'm the one who's always picking on why can't Captain America show up or all these other things. I thought it was just a really good, solid story like that. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked the sequel. I would say I liked the first one more, but
Yeah.
Kurt Russell was really good. I love Kurt Russell as an
Oh, yeah.
actor. And It was cool to see Stallone in there, even for a teeny bit.
Oh yeah. He had a great cameo.
And Michael Rooker was fantastic. I mean,
So if
yeah.
Stallone is in this, you can add this to your
I did.
Stallone.
I reviewed
Okay.
it.
He reviewed
Nice.
it. Yeah. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
But Michael Rooker, I mean, I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but he had probably the best character stuff,
Yeah.
Michael Rooker. So I thought that was really cool because he's an underrated actor.
Yeah.
Well, James Gunn just loves to give Michael Rooker like good material. So
I like the first one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like the first one. Okay, I just couldn't pull the trigger on going to see the new one. I heard some things about the story that I don't know, just maybe not want to see it in theaters. I'll probably watch it on Netflix or something. It'll probably be okay. I mean, I'm not going to hate on it, but I don't know. It's okay.
It felt a little bit too long. I think there were a few little things could have been cut out. Some of the humor was kind of missed, but again, I put just a little below the first one, but it's still, a good movie.
Yeah.
Considering the other movie I saw.
Let's move right into it. Let's just go at it. Let's just talk about Alien Covenant. Has anybody else seen it besides me and Rambo?
Yeah,
I saw 15 minutes of it at Alien Day. Enough to make me not want to watch the rest of it.
Stingray, did you say you saw it?
Yes.
Okay.
listen to that voice.
He told me he got sick at home. Like you were telling me you were ill.
I was sick for a few days after I saw that. It was.
That's how bad
it was my heart, my soul, and also physically my body.
Let's talk.
I mean, really, like I'm a changed man after I saw it. Like it really like ruined. I think it's ruined the majority of the franchise for me. Like really.
Can we put our finger on? Is there one big major problem with that movie? Because I mean, it's
Ridley Scott has no idea why we like the original.
Clearly, Ridley Scott's completely lost the plot.
The script is one of the dumbest, most inept scripts with people doing the dumbest things, demystifying everything like George Lucas did with his prequels. Yeah. And just every decision is like, I don't think Ridley Scott directed it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you go back to Prometheus and David walks into whatever planet they were on, and the alien is on the wall as a worshiping thing. So obviously it's already been created. So what the hell is he doing?
Well, I mean, this answered the question, chicken or the egg. It's egg, obviously. Well, I mean, he fucking made eggs for these things. Born out of why? Why would you make eggs?
It's really weird because I mean they've tried to retcon Prometheus as much as possible, but yet they have to have some Prometheus for Covenant to work, even though Covenant really doesn't work. So what's funny is Alien Covenant was Ridley Scott's answer to people not liking Prometheus. Yeah. What's going to be his answer to people not liking Alien Covenant with Alien Awakening?
But
because Alien Covenant is flopped. It opened big and now it's gone. It's gone.
And that's the third film in the Prometheus trilogy.
Right. And there's supposed to be 4 films before Alien 1 starts.
And Awakening is supposed to be between Prometheus and Covenant. But when I was watching that 15 minutes in the theater, my ass and my brain both hurt at the same time because I wanted to shit my brain out of my ass. My brain hurt because it was stupid, and my ass hurt because I was getting fucked as an alien fan.
And why does every woman in this series have to look like Ripley's hair? I mean, they've the same hair. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Noomi Rapace and this Catherine Waterston, right? Is that her name? Yeah. It's just like they all have the same Ripley hair, and it's like, so are you saying the alien's attracted to women with only that hair?
It's the future.
Well, somebody had pointed out when I did a video talking about Alien Awakening and Ridley Scott having lost the plot, and somebody in the comment section said that the whole thing about Alien Awakening being the second part taking place between Prometheus and Covenant was actually a misunderstanding from an interview that Ridley Scott did, that Alien Awakening is supposed to follow Covenant. I don't know which is true at this point, because Ridley Scott said 2 different things. In one interview, he says it's the middle part. In another interview,
and I think that just proves what's really wrong is that he's lost his fucking mind.
And which Ridley Scott do we get? Do we get The Martian and Kingdom of Heaven, or are we getting?
This is the Dementia Ward.
The one
Ridley
that
Scott.
what was that? What was that one he did with I was gonna say Michael Fassbender, but he's in a lot of them. What was that weird one he did with that like it was like this like crime drama that like was voted like the worst movie ever made.
Worst movie ever made.
Oh my god!
Who's-
Give me a second.
See,
Was
he's
the one
done
Cameron
he
Diaz
did-
when he comes to the car?
He
Ridley
did
Scott?
Body of Lies. He did American Gangster. He did.
Is the one where it's like with Cameron Diaz and she humps the car?
No, that's Cormac McCarthy.
Yeah, this one, the counselor.
Oh,
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. Oh, yeah, he did direct that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
there was this one and the Good Year, the one he did with Russell Crowe, that love drama he made. And
Mhm.
you know, you never know which one you're gonna get because Ridley Scott can be one of the greatest filmmakers or one of the worst ones. He could be the guy who gives us,
I mean,
you know, Gladiator or gives us Robin Hood. You know?
what since Gladiator has been any good though? I mean,
I loved Hannibal. I don't care. People.
I
like Hannibal too.
I liked The Martian. I liked Black Hawk Down.
Oh yeah, Black Hawk
I
Down
don't know,
definitely.
Black Hawk Down, I guess.
I think Kingdom of Heaven, the director's cut, is amazing, but only that version.
To steal a line from Aliens, Jay looks like how I feel.
I didn't like Kingdom of Heaven. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I did not like it.
But it has Ava Green.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the director's cut of
Is it?
Kingdom of Heaven, check it out because it is great.
But
And you can get it for like
yeah.
$3 at Target. Come on Blu-ray.
when I was watching Electron, all I can say is how much I miss Tony Scott. And how much more of a Tony fan I was.
Well, you know, I saw a lot of people online
just-
talking. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I saw
Yeah.
a lot of people online
go ahead.
talking about Alien Covenant, saying that they released all these like teaser promos for the movie. You know, where they show you the characters. And people online, I agree with them. They said, "Why do we need to do homework before we see a movie? Can't this stuff be in the movie?"
Well, Ridley
If it's
Scott.
not in
And
the
I don't know how much of Ridley Scott's interviews we can even take at face value anymore, but he did say in another interview that they cut 20 minutes of footage out of Covenant, and that 20 minutes of footage will end up on the Blu-ray.
Fuck
I
it.
knew it. I called it. I said it's gonna be this fucking longer edition. It don't matter. It's gonna still fucking suck.
So I'm wondering, did all the character stuff get cut out? Did all the if there were any questions from Prometheus answered? If there were any plot holes from Covenant patched up in those 20 minutes? I don't know what's in those 20 minutes that were cut out of Prometheus, and do we even want to see? Will they make the movie better? Much like the extended version of Batman v Superman made that movie a little bit better. And do we even want to see 20 more minutes of Covenant?
Would that
15 minutes
fix?
I saw, the thought of another 20 minutes existing is scarier than anything that's ever done.
Would that fix the horrible CGI on the creatures? Would that fix how dumb these fucking people are? That they're slipping on blood and woof like a Benny Hill fucking slapstick, and shooting and blowing herself up because she's a fucking idiot, and just.
Well, I mean, you gotta, there was,
People thought Friday 13th characters were stupid. They're smarter than these people.
And
Billy
these are supposed to be like smart outer space astronauts colonizing worlds and that.
No,
kind of
they're
thing.
poking shit and things going up their nose. And
Billy Crudup is a great actor. They turned him into the most dislikable, weak,
dumbest
thin,
motherfuckers.
stupid character I'd ever seen in a movie. He just watched an alien that killed one of the crew members walk up to David like it was David's pet, and then he realizes that David is somehow in cahoots with these aliens. He still follows David into a dark room full of alien eggs that we have no idea how they got there, other than he made them out of paper mache. And he just and David's like, go look over into the top of that alien egg.
Stick your head in there.
And Billy
Stick your
Crudup
head
is
in.
like, okay, and he walks right over and does it.
Now, this is not a knock against your guy Damon Lindelof, okay, Eric? I'm bringing this up. But Damon Lindelof, I think, is the man that scrambled Ridley Scott's brain when it came to this new trilogy, because he told Ridley Scott that when he was younger, that on cable, when HBO was first coming out, he confused Alien and he confused Blade Runner, and he thought they existed in the same universe. And Ridley Scott like jumped on that idea and was like, "This is great." And so he wanted this trilogy to be about David, the synthetic. So it's like this whole, now Ridley Scott wants to combine, and there's rumors that Blade Runner 2049 is going to connect to Alien Covenant, which is going to be insane.
No way.
Fuck that.
I know that he said they're in the same universe, right? But,
Right.
I mean, so they're going to connect. at some
That's,
point.
that's the point.
They won't do that now. Alien Covenant's flopped. They won't do that now.
They'll cut out
They
that
won't.
part. They'll cut out that scene.
Because most people will be like, "What?" Most will have no idea what that's about because Alien Covenant's flopped.
Yeah. But that's scary.
But if fans didn't connect with Prometheus, and if fans didn't connect with Ridley Scott's answer to Prometheus, which was Covenant, where do they go from here? And do we even want them to go forward from here?
No.
And let me ask you guys this: when we saw those paintings, those pictures from Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5. People were through the roof. They were hyped. They were pumped about getting a continuation
of Alien.
with exactly. They were 10 million times more excited about that, and all they were pictures, than they've been about Alien Covenant or even Prometheus. Why not call up Neil Blomkamp and go, okay, what have you got?
What happened was The Martian was a huge hit, was nominated for multiple Oscars. So Ridley Scott pulled his clout over at 20th Century Fox and said, "You're not making Neil Blomkamp's Aliens. You're doing my Aliens." And they said, "Yes, we'll do your Aliens." But now this one's tanked. Maybe they'll go back. I don't know.
Nope.
I don't think they'll take a chance. They won't take a chance because Neil Blomkamp's last two movies were not box office powerhouses.
Right.
And then the Alien name is now
No.
less than a box office flop. Why would they put more money into another Alien film?
They just took a huge shit on the Alien franchise, and I mean, dude's what, 80 years old?
He's up
I'm
there.
not sure.
He's not making a lot more movies, man.
He essentially
He's got like 15.
essentially he wants to end his career where it started, and that's in the Alien universe, which is well and good, fine, perfectly. But
Nope.
when you say that the only reason that Alien, the original Alien, was a success was because of the sets and the Alien itself, you need to go see a doctor. You know what I mean? You're not all there.
But okay, are we the only ones who don't like the film?
No.
Because critics is high rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I've seen a lot of people defend the film, believe me. So I wasn't sure if this was like a minority thing that people don't like it, or is this like,
Well, I saw this one thing that said by Robert Meyer Burnett on the internet, and he said after Alien Covenant, it's not even Alien anymore. No. We can't even call it Alien anymore.
But I mean,
believe it or not, I think Prometheus has a small but rabid fan base.
It
I was
does.
kind of surprised to find out that people actually give a shit about that movie. And I think maybe they are the ones that are champion Covenant because they feel like maybe that's their alien.
Look,
The Covenant shit on the Prometheus fans too, though.
I liked
it did.
Prometheus before. I said this is a standalone movie. It's not in that same universe. A separate thing. Okay, cool. Now, fuck that movie.
Now, what
Also,
about James? Doesn't
saw it.
James Franco show up for like 1 second or something like that?
Yes,
He's
it burns. He gets set on fire, and
he's-
that's it.
10 seconds to burn and 10 seconds to be on a video feed and 127 hours to whatever he's on a mountain.
I wonder how much money he got paid for that. I wonder how much money he got paid for that.
Well,
Lies.
they cut him out because he's in that prologue on YouTube that's not in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So they paid him, I guess, for that.
Well, Danny McBride probably asked him to come in for a day. So
He had to bring him a sack of weed or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably what happened. Danny McBride called him one day and was like, "Dude, you got to bring me some weed. This movie sucks."
And
Ridley Scott was like,
and it kills me. I just played a game called Alien Isolation that was so much better than what I saw in that theater. And I'm like, someone can still do it. Hell, I saw someone edit that game into a movie. And I watched that, and that was better than what I saw. And
look at it like this: Alien fans are so loyal to that series. We've not had a good Alien movie since 1986. Yet we're still dying to see a good Alien movie.
My butt was in the seat opening weekend, man.
and
We're talking
Ridley-
about video games. Alien Colonial Marines was a better movie than Prometheus.
Yeah.
You know, because it was a direct sequel to 2.
Sad thing is these more recent movies make Alien 3 look really good by comparison. Like that movie's pretty watchable by by the standard of Alien versus Predator.
And if you go by Alien Covenant and what happens in that movie, well, Ridley Scott has just now officially retconned Aliens as well. He's throwing James Cameron under the bus because there's no Queen. So,
well, from what I understand, he never liked that because fuck that.
I'm sorry. I like Alien a lot, but Aliens I've always thought was my favorite of the two. But
Well, but okay, so let's look at this and let's go.
Well, even the fucking chest burster that does this dance as if it's the fucking thing from Spaceballs, and it's going up here and Dave's like up here. It's not even a chest burster; it just comes out fully formed.
Back burster, isn't it? Because the one I saw, it came out of his back.
The one that
came out Billy Crudup, Dr. Manhattan, or whatever that is. He came out like full form, and he's like dancing like a puppet.
I laughed out loud. I laughed. People around me did not like it, but I laughed out loud when that happened.
I did think it was kind of cold how, I'm sure David could tell that it was about to come out of him, and he could have just stayed passed out and it come out of him and killed him. David was like throwing rocks at him to wake him up, and then like once he woke up, he asked him something about I don't remember what he asked him, but it was something cold, and then like he answered it, and as soon as he did, boom, it just came out of him. So I thought that was kind of cold.
Speaking of laughing, when I saw the 15-minute preview, the entire audience was laughing at the preview and groaning.
What was the scene?
It was the backbursting scene when the lady gets locked in the medical bay with the guy.
Oh yeah.
And the alien dolphin-looking thing pops out of him.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell that thing's supposed to
But
be.
the other girl locks her, even though she herself had blood on her face. And it's like, why are you locking this woman with this person unless you're a bitch?
Yeah.
I mean, like...
If there is contamination, you've been contaminated.
He puked all over the ship. He puked on your face, so you don't lock this other girl who's just going to be on the ground with a knife going like this.
How can they? I'm sure Alien Awakening will eventually happen. It'll probably have a much reduced budget, which may actually be a good thing because Ridley can stop focusing on the set design and maybe actually focus on the characters and the scares and the suspense. But if Covenant was the answer to Prometheus, what will be the answer to Covenant?
Where's my head?
Where's Covenant or where's Awakening gonna go?
It's gonna be a fully formed middle finger.
I don't care.
There's no reason to be interested because I'm like Prometheus. I didn't care for it, and then I'm like, was this worse? It might even be worse. I couldn't believe that. So, and then you guys are all set up.
You guys are all haters, man. This third film's gonna bring it all together.
There's no way.
It's gonna be like Revenge of the Sith. That one really brought the trilogy together. That made it
all.
Better.
It's more like Revenge of the Nerds 3.
Hey, Eric, just pause for 1 second. They released some information about Revenge of the Sith this past week that was insane. The fact that Natalie Portman was supposed to be on Mustafar with a knife trying to kill Anakin, but Natalie Portman didn't want to film any more scenes, so they left that on the floor. They didn't even shoot it. But she was going to go.
What?
She was going to go to Mustafar and try to kill Anakin before Obi-Wan challenged him to a fight.
Oh, you mean instead of "You're breaking my heart," but instead of that, we were going to get okay.
Yeah, and so he was going to kill her in mid-fight. That'd be awesome.
That's what Alien Covenant is. We'd rather talk about Revenge of the Sith.
Thank you, Rambo.
Which is a better movie than Alien Covenant.
So Prometheus asked questions that it answered with more questions.
Right.
And then Covenant pretty much ignores all of those questions and asks new ones.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, and when you saw the cliffhanger, which I don't know if we can spoil, does that make you want to see what happens next?
No, not really. No.
Nope.
No. I saw that twist coming the moment David started cutting his hair. Yep. 20 minutes into the movie, I'm like, okay, that's how it's going to end.
Yep. That's how a bad slasher movie. And I like slasher. That's like it's the evil twin.
Yeah.
Yep. And I heard Numi Rapace is in this for what, 10 seconds? I mean,
not even that.
You see her dead body.
Like a picture, maybe.
And the end of Prometheus is this heroic thing that she's going to go out there and, explore the universe and find out why, the engineers want to kill us. And then in this movie, forgotten about.
No,
It was as simple as this. Ridley Scott's watching TV in his home, right? His rest home. And an old episode of the Star Trek The Next Generation comes on. It has Data and his evil brother Lore, or whatever his name was, right? He goes, holy shit, I got the idea for a Covenant. Maybe it was that.
I would watch that before
I would. That'd be good.
Remember, this was originally called Alien Paradise Lost. So
Yeah.
British people are weird.
Something definitely got lost.
Oh, he got lost. All right. Yeah. Got lost. Maybe Cole. Maybe Orc's assessment is right. I don't know.
What's the assessment?
Tell us again, Orc.
British people are weird.
It's true.
I just, Cameron and Scott, they just made such good films, and I don't want to see Cameron die on like Avatar 9. Let's make like Terminator 7 or something.
he hasn't made part 2 yet.
Well, there was a rumor that he was getting back to Schwarzenegger for one more Terminator film. Supposedly.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but he's not
They
directing it.
came out and they announced that.
Yeah, but he's not directing it.
I hope it's a prequel.
I'm sure it will be. You know it will be.
Pre-imagining.
Well, let me ask you guys, what upcoming summer movies are you guys looking forward to?
It's a weak summer.
Let me start with.
What are you
let me
talking about?
Let me start with you, Eric. What summer movies are you looking forward to? Upcoming summer movies.
Well, again, I think I'm white bread. I'm not too complicated. Like I'm actually going to see Wonder Woman next week. I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be cool. And even if it's not great, Wonder Woman's pretty hot, so that'll get me through the movie. But
98% of Rotten Tomatoes are.
yeah, I mean, all the reviews look good. I don't know. Like, I'll be honest, because we were picking on Batman vs Superman earlier. Like, again, she had a small role in that movie, so it's hard to judge. But I mean, crap, man. Of the movie, she was the most superhero-y character in that movie. She showed up and kicked ass. Like, that's what I want. So I'm looking forward to that. I think Spider-Man's gonna be pretty good. And as much as I'm conflicted about it, I do want to see The Dark Tower. I love those books. I think that Idris Elba is awesome. And even though it was unconventional casting, I still think like he embodies the gunslinger. Again, I think that I'm looking forward to that movie.
There's one movie coming out this summer, War of the Planet of the Apes. Everything else is second.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Because Spider-Man Homecoming, we've already seen it. I mean, they've shown us so many trailers now that I can tell you at least the first 2/3 of that movie.
Yeah.
So
Hey, real quick, I gotta say, real talk, Jay.
Real talk.
People shitting on Woody Harrelson as why this movie's gonna suck. Fuck you. He's the man. I love him.
Yeah. Who says that? Woody Harrelson's awesome. Who says
There's a few people on YouTube saying that shit, man.
No, they don't know
Unspoken.
anything.
I don't know where that comes from.
Woody Harrelson's been the man since playing Woody and Cheers. So
No, dude, White Man Can't Jump. The King and Duck. That's right. Yes.
but I mean, like this. But when I say weak summer, Eric, I'm just saying if you look at the movies coming out, there's only like a few like really interesting ones, and the rest are just all like, They're all. There's not very many good ones.
Like even kids movies, like there's not a lot of good kids movies out like usual. Like I had to go see Boss Baby the other fucking night. Boss Baby.
Oh, come on, you're a big Alec Baldwin fan.
Oh, I don't like Alec Baldwin. The movie was better than I expected, though.
Jay, when you see the Emoji movie, I expect a review on your channel.
Oh man, I forgot that's coming out.
Well, listen, I just want to say this before we go on. I thought I'm going to get emotional. Hold on.
Okay.
The tasteless photograph that Kathy Griffin took of Alec Baldwin's severed head. Totally tasteless. She's
Of course.
Totally.
We're here for you, Fizz. Let it out. We're here.
Should have blurred out her face.
Fake news. CNN fired her yesterday too. So.
Ooh.
What did Alec Baldwin do to you, Kathy?
Yeah, really.
Well, I think a lot of people would be like, "Who's Kathy Griffin?"
Well, that's why she did it.
But
Well, they fired-
if it's on cable, it's fake news.
They fired her from her 1 day a year job.
Yeah.
Fired her
Saw
from not
her-
having a job.
Begging for that job back on some social media shit too. Like,
I guess when you only work 1 day a year, it is pretty important to keep it,
New
right?
Year's Eve, Kathy
I
Lee
wonder if-
Griffin says dumb shit while Anderson Cooper makes weird
You know,
fucking faces.
Being a horror movie fan and a metal fan, I was completely unfazed by the photo. My first reaction was, "Wow, that's a nice fake head. I wonder who made it." You know,
Yeah.
a horror movie guy here, right?
Well, you
my
know,
reaction was, "Goddamn, Kathy Griffin's had a lot of plastic surgery."
And and then secondly, I thought I've seen Guar 9 times in 4 different states.
Rock on.
They've killed so many political leaders and celebrities on stage over the years that it doesn't even faze me.
well, you know,
I was actually kind of amused.
Guar actually came out in opposition to Kathy Griffin's photo and said, "Hey, we decapitated Trump long ago."
Yeah,
Rest
exactly.
in peace.
She's, you know,
Stealing their shtick, you know?
exactly.
It's the same faux outrage that you get like when like a picture came out of campaign sites online. Like there was a campaign map that had like crosshairs over districts, meaning
Yeah.
like districts to target to take over, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's like gun sites! Oh Lord, that's so terrible." It's all nonsense.
man. I mean,
Well, Eric, you posted a story today. Said that doctors are recommending that women no longer put wasp nests in their vagina.
Yes, the New York Post had an article today where like this doctor was like, pro tip, don't put wasp nests up in your vagina because you think it'll tighten it or something like that. It was nonsense.
Thank God
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
the 24-hour
what
news
about
cycle.
weekend plans?
Holy Christ.
DJ Donnelly is offended by you talking about British people being weird.
Okay, British people are really weird. Sorry.
Well, I mean, to be fair, British people probably think we're weird, so it's fair.
That's true.
Do we have any hope for Dunkirk coming out?
I do.
I wanna
I'm
see
looking.
it.
That
I'm
looks
looking
cool.
forward. I'm looking forward to Dunkirk. That's definitely on my list of movies I'm looking forward to this summer.
I have a very
And-
small list, but it's on it.
And I will say I'm not going to see it in the theater, but I do think it looks better in the first one as Annabelle 2. I think it looks better.
You know, I was gonna say that, except my problem with it is I actually like those movies. I saw Conjuring, Conjuring 2, Annabelle, and Annabelle gets a lot of hate, but I liked it. I don't understand where this movie falls within like the chronology of Annabelle, because I thought Annabelle was the creation of the doll. Now there's a prequel. I don't
Annabelle
understand.
is Prometheus. This is
Yeah.
This is,
I was gonna say that I did want to see that, but yeah.
We were talking about universes earlier. They're opening up the Conjuring universe. There's going to be a third
Yeah.
Conjuring movie.
yeah, if the lawsuit pans out.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true too. Yeah. The evil nun from the last Conjuring movie is going to have her own movie. So I
The
mean,
crooked man, he's gonna fight the evil nun.
Hey, that evil nun also played, because she's an expert in terms of makeup and scariness. She also was that homeless bum behind the dumpster in Mulholland Drive, which is
Ooh.
really scary stuff.
that
So-
that was legitimately freaky.
Yeah,
That was legitimately freaky. Yeah,
because
That
no
was
one's
scary.
no one's expecting that.
Yeah, that was freaky. Let me go through my list here. Movies I'm looking forward to this upcoming summer, or upcoming summer movies. Wonder Woman. I am looking forward to The Mummy. Hate me if you must. Dunkirk is definitely on my list. War for the Planet of the Apes. The Dark Tower. I'm looking forward to, even though I thought the trailer's a little. I don't know. I
It's
don't
gonna be
know.
a hard thing.
I hope the trailer is not indicative of the movie. I hope that's just the marketing people don't get it. That's what I hope.
They don't know how to sell it, and the movie's
The
good.
book series is
Right.
so vast and bizarre that I don't think there's any way they can make a good movie of it.
But Eric has turned me around, because he says it's not an adaptation of the books; it's a sequel to the books.
Yes,
Right.
that's the only thing that kind of gives me some hope here, is that, or not hope, rather, it kind of, I will be accepting of changes and things, because this is sort of a spoiler. I won't expand on it. This is another cycle of the Dark Tower. So if things don't play out like they did in the books, I think it's okay, because we can, things could change perhaps, and so
Probably the
that
only
sounds
way they
exciting.
could have done it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But that at least gets them off the hook of fans of the book going, well, you changed this, you changed that. It's like,
Right.
so that's cool.
It seemed like a smart strategy, but I've heard mixed things about the script, so I guess we'll just have to see how it turns out.
And the horror movie that I'm looking forward to coming out this summer is at Night. Have you guys seen the trailer for that?
What's it called?
It Comes at Night.
It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yep, that's the horror movie I'm looking forward to this summer.
Okay.
And also, I'm a sucker for shark films. So 27 Meters Down.
Oh,
Is on my
80 more, baby.
47.
Yeah.
That's coming out. That comes out this weekend, doesn't it? I think that might come out this weekend.
I think it does. June 9. Yeah.
All right,
No,
going
it's
back in
nice.
time, Mike, you're a sucker for shark movies. What'd you think of The Shallows?
I liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Now-
me too.
Is 47 Meters the movie that, because there was a shark movie that got put out on DVD and went with Target. It was like a Target exclusive, and it did so well that they pulled it off the shelves, retitled it to put it in the theaters. Is this
Now,
that one?
This I think it is because it actually had another name.
Okay.
I forget what it
Okay.
was called.
There's
I
a
forget
lot of
what it
people
was.
who already own it on DVD.
I forget what it was called, but it did have another name, and it's been out for a while. I mean, it's been
Oh, really?
this is a movie that's been done for a long time.
So that's it.
It could very well be it.
It's probably still at your Target.
I remember thinking like how Mandy Moore would have made it because she has like a TV show now, and it just seemed odd all of a sudden she's just in this movie. So yeah, it makes sense if this was actually an older film that's been sort of repackaged and they're putting it out.
Yeah, it's been out for a while, and it was under another name. I don't remember what the other name was, but I know it's been out.
Says here In the Deep.
In the Deep. Yep,
That's it. That's the Target movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought the
out for
trailer
a
for
few
that
years.
looked good. So
Yeah, it looks interesting. I'm a sucker for the shark films. The only other one on my list really was The Hitman's Bodyguard.
I look forward to that. Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
When does Edgar Wright's movie come out? Does it come out this summer? That what is that? What is that one? The one where it's kind of like Drive, but it's it's obviously by Edgar Wright. Baby Driver. Baby Driver.
Oh, yeah. I just saw a trailer for that. I thought that looked pretty good.
Yeah. When does it come out?
I think June 28th.
June 28th. Yeah. Now his last movie was Scott Pilgrim. Obviously, people like it, but it did not set the world on fire. But I mean, Shaun the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End are three great films. So
Hold on, I'm really confused. Nobody has mentioned Transformers 5 yet. How is it this is not on
because
everybody's
I saw scenes at the MTV Movie Awards. The movie looks awful.
But it has Anthony
yo.
Hopkins, Cameron. We're bringing
What is the
Oscar
funky
quality
part?
talent.
Got
into
Marky
this movie.
Mark. Did we
Listen,
not learn anything from the last one?
Come on, you got the underwear model. Feel it, feel it.
Michael Bay has Academy Award winners in every single one of his movies. It doesn't make him any better.
Look good, feel good.
Can you wake me up when the Transformers movie starts sucking? Stop sucking, Clarice.
I think that Anthony Hopkins just didn't get paid a lot for Westworld, and so he needed to make this to sort of keep his bank account even, so he can make his passion project on HBO. A very intellectual, and giant robots are going to fight over top of him here.
I love him as an actor.
There you
You
go.
know what he didn't? What he took a paycheck for? The Right. I saw that movie in the theaters. Holy shit, it was terrible. I was like, no.
Yeah. It's
Wait,
pretty
which
bad.
movie?
The Right.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I remember
Sorry,
that.
The Exorcist.
I was like, this was a paycheck movie, and then I apologized to my friend, and then paid him
Oh,
back for the
funny.
ticket.
And then you went outside, and your friend promptly beat the crap out of you. Right.
Pretty much, yeah. That was a taxi cab night. Or confessions.
Or confession. Are there any other movies on your guys' list for summer movies, upcoming summer movies? Mike, what about you?
That was it, really.
Okay.
About
what-
5, maybe.
What about you, Stingray?
Slither's coming out on Blu-ray in July.
Yep.
nice.
Okay.
There's not shit coming out of the theaters though.
What about you, Cameron?
I'm looking at the movies coming out. I don't know. A lot of the ones you guys have mentioned. Wonder Woman, I want to see just because the reviews are so good for it now. And they said also it's going to be the first DC movie that does not have an extended cut on Blu-ray. So obviously they're happy with what they have. They don't need to milk it and get more money. So, and I do want to see War of the Planet of the Apes because the last two have been really good, and I never expected anything from those first two movies. And they Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is really, really good film. So
Did you guys talk at all about the whole Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon thing?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I won't re-legislate that then, but that was big, interesting to me, I thought.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Terrible, obviously, what happened to Zack Snyder, but wonderful for Justice League to have Joss Whedon come in. Fresh eyes, adding character moments, character beats, in the reshoots. I think it will work really well.
Yeah.
So.
Are there any upcoming summer movies that you're looking forward to, Rambo?
We mentioned 47 meters down, or whatever the hell it's called now. 44
In the deep.
in the deep. See, Hitman's Bodyguard that Mike mentioned. I actually look forward to Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Female John Wick, but I'm
Forgot
for
about
that.
Yeah.
Charlize
Blade Runner-
Theron is really versatile. She's a
Yeah.
badass. Like,
I'm
I
a
think
big fan
sometimes
of hers.
movies try too hard to make like women look like badasses. With Charlize Theron, I believe it. Like, I think she could kick the shit out of
Hey,
me.
It
And I'd
just
let her
comes
do it.
natural. It just comes natural.
She was a badass in the Italian Job back in 2003. So
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a good movie.
She was pretty. Do you guys remember 2 Days in the Valley?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where we first saw her, I think.
Yep, that was it.
Oh, it wasn't that Mighty Joe Young movie? Wasn't she in that one too?
Yeah, she was in that.
I think 2 Days in the Valley was first, though.
Okay, and then Devil's Advocate, right? She showed up. She was
Yeah.
the wife in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know, Rambo, this summer, when your Stallone thing ends, how much money do I need to raise so that you do the Nicolas Cage one next? I mean, are you going to charge
Rambo,
$1,000 bucks?
Pay for
At
funeral
least,
costs.
at least 5,000. At least 5,000, Rambo.
Okay.
If
Per
I
film.
get that, I'll do it. It's perfect. Perfect.
And you got to do it like Shia LaBeouf, a 24-hour live stream of you just.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. Yeah, but he was watching his own movies, so that's just,
Okay, then how about 24 hours of you watching your own reviews?
yeah,
Money received. Message from Cameron. I hope you make it. Have fun.
But
Yeah.
the other movie, I do hope it's good. I've only seen the teaser. I haven't watched the trailer. Is the new Blade Runner? I do. I did not see the new trailer. Just don't want to be spoiled.
Wait, don't you mean the sequel to Alien Covenant?
Yeah.
Well,
I
we-
hope. I'm
let me-
glad
Another
Brandon
film where
Crouch
Harrison Ford
directed
can
it.
kill up a character.
let me ask you guys.
I hope.
Let me
I
ask
hope
you.
it's good, though.
Let me ask you guys this: the summer movie season now officially starts in like March. When does the
Yeah.
summer movie season end now?
Thanksgiving.
I think it has to be August. Like, I think the beginning of
Okay.
August is when it ends, because it seems like they dump a
Okay.
bunch of garbage at the end of that month.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. What do you guys?
because
Oh,
the new It movie comes out in I think September, and I'm actually looking
Oh
forward to that.
yeah. Okay, I'm looking forward to that too, but I don't know that I would count that as a summer movie.
No.
But then
Fair
November we
point.
get Justice League, Thor, and then December we get Star Wars, and it's just like the whole year's summer movies,
Right,
Well, the holiday
That's true.
season now has become a thing. Yeah.
right.
Well, aren't they moving the final Star Wars of the trilogy back into summer? That's the goal anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
Han Solo is the first one to do it,
oh, so that'll be in May. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
got it.
which is so stupid of them. I'm
That
sorry.
is stupid.
Because they own Christmas, they own January. There's no other movies coming out. They put it out in the summer. Other movies come out the next weekend. It's gonna not last very long.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Have
I'll
they
correct
ever
you.
done
They
anything
own
that's not
everything.
stupid?
I'm sorry.
What was that, Mike?
I was gonna say, have they done anything so far that isn't stupid?
Well,
So,
to the majority,
as
it's all
expected.
been good.
They're laughing all the
saying-
way to the bank.
This is not about quality of movie, Mike. This is about money, and they own
Marketing.
they own a month and a half out of the year and then it's out on Blu-ray in March. So I mean, they don't even have to,
own
and it's so
half the
close to
holiday.
it's so close that they don't even have to advertise the Blu-ray. I mean, because it's just like it's.
And I don't understand. Like, aren't they
It's true.
stepping on their other properties? Because like all the Marvel, because actually, 2018 isn't that when
Avengers.
like Avengers: Infinity War comes out next May?
Yeah,
Like, if they have Han Solo coming out, aren't they cutting into their own
It's-
like cycle there?
I believe right now it's a 2 weeks in between each one. That's insane. Why would they do that?
That's stupid. Because I mean, you got to think Avengers. People would go back and see that a few times. I mean, again, we don't know if it's any good. I would hope, but
Again, I've seen Rogue One. I'm not surprised.
Mike.
Rogue One is the best thing they've ever done.
We're not dealing with geniuses here, guys.
But the reason why Disney says they're moving Star Wars from December to May is because they want to clear out room for Avatar because they're creating the Avatar land.
Okay.
You know, there's one person that's very important in this whole universe that agrees with me on these new films, and that's Luke fucking Skywalker. All right? So if Luke Skywalker thinks these movies are shit, I'm qualified to think the movies are shit too.
Twitter plug.
He tells the director of The Last Jedi, I fundamentally disagree with every decision you've made concerning my character.
Well, Mark Hamill is different than most. I think I'd probably trust him to make character decisions better than most people. But I would say that most actors are like dumb shit stupid when it comes to like what a character should and shouldn't do. I don't know that I would take that as gospel as to whether or not they're making good decisions on that.
When it
They
comes
could
to
not
Mark
do it
Hamill
and
and
not get paid
Skywalker,
for
I believe it.
So goddamn high and
Well,
mighty.
I asked about what should we do for Halloween, and Mike said stop it. If it was up to Mike, Star Wars would be done too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, if you're not going to do anything good, what's the point?
Money.
Mike,
It's all-
when, you,
it's all-
So
Mike, when
about
you're at Best Buy or Target and you see someone picking up Rogue One, do you actually like vocally tell them put that movie
He
down?
slaps it out of
Hey,
the hand. He slaps
hey,
it out of
you.
the hand.
Drop it.
He's
No,
taking-
because
he's taking
your
his
life
vapor,
choices are up to
blowing
you.
in their face.
You should pull up that
Whatever you wanna
interview
do,
with
do.
Mark Hamill.
I don't care, but don't expect me to be excited about it.
Watch what Mark Hamill says about this movie.
It's some kid who's 13. It's like a bad drug choice. He's like, "Don't do it, kid. You know, I'm gonna ruin your whole fucking future." He's like, "I don't know what to do, man."
I don't berate people for liking things I like. I don't walk up
Really?
and slap it out of their hand and go, "What the fuck are you thinking, man?" You know,
So what I'm
if you
hearing
like that, you're a piece of shit. No, I don't do that.
what I'm hearing is Mike prefers the prequels to Rogue One and Force Awakens.
No, the
I would-
last
you know
really
what?
good
I
Star
would say
Wars
that.
movie was
I would say
Empire.
that.
Empire Strikes Back was the last
Not-
really good
not-
Star Wars.
Not the Battle for Endor.
No,
I would rather watch that than Rogue One.
but I would rather watch that than Rogue One. Yeah.
Ewoks, I never have a problem. They're cute little furry fuckers. They can kick ass. Vietnam style.
Although it
I'm
was
with
supposed to
Ewoks.
be
Vietnam
Chewbacca's home planet with Wookiees,
I'm
which
with
would have been better.
Ewoks.
And at the end of Return of the Jedi, they're playing bongo drums on the heads of stormtroopers. I mean, it's fantastic.
Exactly. They cut their heads off, like Jason Voorhees would. He's pounding on bongos sticks. I'm for them. They're mine. They can hang out with me.
Hell, they were even going to sacrifice, Han Solo and eat him. So
Exactly. So that'd be a better death than what he got.
Let me ask everybody who's watching, what summer movies are you guys looking forward to? And let me give a couple of shout outs here to Austin Carden, who tweeted at us tonight. He says he's watching the show right now with some Mellow Yellow and barbecue chips.
Very nice. All right.
After I
Wait,
saw
they
Rogue
still-
One, I actually thought maybe it's better than the prequels, and maybe it'll make me appreciate the prequels. I went back and watched the prequels. They're still horrible.
Look, I'm saying this as your friend. Just let it go. Please.
Mike would rather be roasted by some Ewoks than ever sit through another Star Wars movie again.
Orc, it's not me that has to let it go.
Just go to the gun range, let a few rounds go, get some
Every
Pabst
day.
Blue Ribbon.
Hey, there's a new Star Wars movie twice a year. Whoopee woo! That's all I ever hear about. How am I supposed to let it go?
No, the line is
They
yippee.
shoved it so far up my ass I can taste it.
Mike, the next one's gonna have Nazis in it, so don't worry. Then you'll be like, oh,
The
why?
last two
No.
had Nazis in it.
No, it's owned by Disney. The next one's going to cross over with Guardians of the Galaxy. So
That'd be
Let
good.
me, speaking of Nazis, Orc, how are no, sorry. Speaking of Nazis, I'm getting way off topic here, but the new Call
I'm
of Duty
Jewish,
game.
by the way. Fuck you, Piz.
All right,
Wow.
muzzle tough, Orc, muzzle tough.
BRB, bigot.
This dreidel's for you, my friend.
Thank you.
The new Call of Duty game that's coming out later this year is it's set in World War II. They're going back to World War II with the series. They're fighting Nazis. However, they are allegedly taking out all Nazi imagery. No swastikas in the game.
Why?
Exactly, because it is offensive.
Well, then why don't
But
they
not-
just replace all the guns with radios? That would really
So-
kind of
so
make it
you'll-
the
you'll-
offensive thing.
You'll
But
still be
Nazis were
able.
offensive.
You'll still be able to shoot people in the head and their brains will fly everywhere. People will still probably blow up into a million pieces. That's well and good. That's fine. but to be historically accurate is offensive.
Is this confirmed though?
But
Are they
Nazis
for
were
sure doing that?
offensive.
Can I
That
still teabag? I mean,
you can
is
still
that
teabag.
okay?
You
Okay.
can teabag all day, every
I'm
day.
good then.
That's what made like the old war games really good though. Like the first two Medal of Honors on PS1 and PS2
That
is
is
like
some
complete.
PC pussified bullshit. God, that's PC
Now
pussified bullshit.
the rumor is too that they won't even be referred to as Nazis.
Then
What?
what are they?
Then why are they doing this? Like, why go back to a time period that you don't want to represent any of like the historical information about?
Exactly.
Why not just keep doing what they're doing, like making new stories? I mean, people are eating these games up. What the hell does it matter?
They want to make money, and with the new culture, offending people will you'll get your game pulled from the store. I mean, the ridiculous power that some of these people have, having shows taken up there and people fired. They don't want to deal with that bullshit. They just want to make money.
Yeah.
So they're going to sanitize whatever they think might be offensive, and that would be in their way of making money. And that's
Now,
all
Eric,
it's about.
You live up near the Portland area. I saw this thing that like white chefs in Portland aren't allowed to make burritos
Jesus.
anymore because they say
Yeah.
it's cultural appropriation and white people can't make Mexican food anymore. What is going
Yeah.
on up there?
Dude, listen. If you thought that like Seattle was some kind of crazy like liberal paradise, Portland is another world entirely. Like they're hardcore down there, man. Don't attribute that to me up here.
No,
in the
I'm
Seattle
asking
area.
you. I'm asking you though. What do you think about? What does the area think about that? White people can't make
it's funny.
burritos.
It's funny because I think there's sort of like they're torn between kind of like a common sense of logic and their desire to support nonsense like this, and so there's this weird sort of schizophrenic thing going on. I don't know. It's
Jesus.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Listen, there's no bigger burrito fan in the world than right here. I don't care what color your skin is, as long as you make me a damn good burrito. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, if you're at
Job
Chipotle,
security,
you
man.
did great. I'll tip. Come on.
But
So-
isn't that what equality is?
Well, getting back to the Call of Duty World War II game, there weren't that many female soldiers in World War II.
Right.
However, there's going to be female soldiers in the game
That
because
offends me though.
because we can't just have male soldiers in the game. We've got to have
Right.
it's got to be equal.
Well, Terry Gilliam was hired to do a Nike commercial about 15 years ago, and the commercial was going to be about a baseball team in the 1940s. And when he got to the set, there was a white player, a black player, an Asian player, and a Hispanic player. And Terry Gilliam said, no, because all those races did not play in the early 1940s in baseball in America. And they said, this isn't about historical accuracy. This is about selling shoes.
Right.
So
yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So, imagine a kid in elementary school or middle school, whenever they start talking about World War II and they get deep into it. And he's played Call of Duty World War II. And the teacher goes, when the men were away fighting the war, the women, they did their part and they did this, and this. And the kid's like, no, they were there fighting too. Or they show a swastika and they go, this was the Nazi symbol, and they go, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's not in my game.
At the same time, if they're trying to get all their info from Call of Duty,
Yeah.
on how to live life.
But there's a real world example though, like because they're tearing down like a Confederate. They tore down a Confederate statue down in Louisiana, and I mean this stuff is straight out of 1984, where like
Right.
you just you wipe away all traces of history, until you get the history that you want. That's like
Right.
representative of the views of the government of the party in the book, but. Like
Yeah.
this is troubling. Like how else are you going to improve upon yourself if you don't know history?
And people
they-
today, and people today who I know who were up in arms about the Confederate flag, it has nothing to do with racism or slavery. It's about Southern pride. Being proud to be a Southerner. They've kind of already not forgotten about that, but it's like, it doesn't even stand for that anymore. It's something completely different. It's, you're gonna make
See,
me
Piz,
throw away my do-rag.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Hey,
That's where you're wrong, Piz. It's a dog whistle. it's a racist dog. It's a code.
Well, listen,
among us
Eric,
white guys, and that's what it
No,
means.
it stands for the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, exactly. But they got the Dukes of Hazzard. They got the Dukes of Hazzard pulled off the air, and now I mean, over the last couple of years, they've been trying to ban Gone with the Wind, and I'm just like, come on, you know. But yeah, they want to scrub it entirely clean of all this stuff.
I saw some of
love
this.
tomatoes.
I was in a you know, I have, you know, I work with a lot of people, young ages, stuff of children with in schools and stuff, and I'm not kidding you. The teachers were talking to these kids, and the kids were saying, all of them, I don't care what period it was, 6th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders, 9th graders, whatever you want to say, they all say the same thing. We don't need to learn history. The only thing that matters is today. Now, these people have no clue about anything. I mean, you could say, you know, they're the type that, like John Belushi in Animal House, you know, the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. You know, that's who these kids are.
Right.
But they don't care about anything. They don't know anything. They don't care to know anything. They want to live inside their bubble on their phone and their damn little spinner things they got now.
Bro, Wikipedia, it ain't true, son.
If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. That's a wise saying, and it's very true.
Well,
so
I
if you
mean-
remove history and you shrink the dictionary and you restrict the way people communicate and you take away free speech, what's going to happen? It's scary. In the 80s, I went through this crap, but it was the satanic panic and the Christian conservatives,
Right.
and even Al Gore's wife, you know, with the PMRC. But
Yeah.
it was never this bad. They never had that much power, and to see those type of people have that much power really does scare the shit out of me, because I watched 1984 not that long ago, and I see it's heading in that direction really fast.
Well, I can agree with everything that you guys have said, with the exception of fidget spinners. I think they're the coolest thing going. Okay, I love my fidget spinners. I love my fidget spinners. So
Well, I posted a picture today of a grandmother giving her kid a new fidget spinner. It was the Lament configuration from Hellraiser. And she says it goes, play with this spinner. It has such sights to show you, my dear.
that's the fidget spinner I want. Is the Lament configuration one?
That's a cool grandma.
That is.
Careful, Piz. Those things are a choking hazard.
I'm aware. I try not to clean it with my mouth. So
How often every day do you play with that thing, Piz?
you know what? I'm somebody. I like to have. You know, are you guys familiar with these things? The Chinese chi balls that you just sit and you this all day. These were the original fidget spinners.
Those look like anal beads.
Let's go up your butt, right?
I mean, every single one of us.
They've been there before.
But every single one of us has 2 balls. We can do that for free. I mean, come on.
I don't know about your balls, but when I do this with my balls, it really hurts. It's really
Okay,
hurts.
this week's
Sausage
Orange Corner
Factory.
is a sex toy collection.
Yeah, but if you do that out in public, you get some staring.
That's true too. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I like to have. I like to be doing something with my hands. Like I'm usually holding a pen and fidgeting with a pen, or you know, so
Pocket pool.
pocket pool, of course. Yeah. I try to limit that when I'm in the office though, because you know,
They got cameras everywhere today.
yeah. But we always have these segues, whether we're doing whatever we're doing. We always have these weird. We just trail off.
This is why the fans tune in.
This is exactly why the fans.
Well,
tune
see, normally people have said to me that they love the Sausage Factory because it always becomes about Friday the 13th at some point. But we already had that discussion at the beginning of the episode. So.
Hey, Piz, can you play with your balls again?
There you go.
Thank you.
I sort of like how Orc is just this disembodied voice that occasionally chimes in, like from beyond.
He's gone. I want to see, because I mean, chances are he'd probably agree. Orc, tweet to Donald Trump and get an interview with him. I'll put it on my channel. I'd love to see Orc interview Donald Trump.
I would love that.
Would that be like when
that
Chris
is
Farley was
what we
interviewed
call-
on SNL?
What's up?
That's right. Remember when Chris Farley was interviewing someone in SNL?
Yeah.
And
Paul McCartney.
it was really good.
That is what we call in this day and age when you're about to hit tweet a risky click. That's what we
Because
call
maybe
it.
instead of that Kafave or whatever, he would say Gozu on in the next tweet. You know, you never know.
Have we
Maybe.
agreed? Have we agreed on the proper pronunciation of that? By the way, conveef.
What is that? I've seen that all over the internet. What the hell is
I
it?
don't know. I don't know.
Donald Trump put a tweet, and halfway through it just stops, and then there's a word, and then he never like talked about it again. So
Donald Trump needs to get off Twitter.
He does. He needs to get up. Whatever. Even if you support the guy 100%, he needs to get off Twitter.
yeah,
I mean,
somebody needs to change the password.
He has some of the most outlandish tweets I've ever seen in my life. You know
I
what
like
I
him
mean?
because
He's
he's
starting to be-
McDonald's, so he's kind of like me, you know.
My feeling with him is a little bit like George R.R. Martin. It's kind of like shouldn't you be doing something else? Like quit going to like Comic-Con or something. Go write your damn books, man.
I almost feel like this is like I almost feel like the presidential thing is like a character he's playing. It's like I don't know. It's like a role playing game that he's, you know, I don't know. I don't know.
I said that during the campaign, and it turned out not to be true. I think this is the guy, unfortunately.
Listen, I've said this before. I'll say it again. When he gets out of office in 4 years or 8 years, whenever it is, he's going to tweet this. The day after he leaves office, he's going to tweet and he's going to say, "If anybody ever doubted that I'm the world's greatest salesman, I sold the entire nation on me being president of the United States." That will be the tweet that follows his day out of the office. That will be the tweet.
This little PC bullshit guy, the stuff you guys have been talking about, that's why he's in office right now.
Yeah.
Because not everybody feels that way.
You know what's funny is Saturday Night Live did a joke, and Saturday Night Live has been lighting Donald Trump up, but they had one of their Weekend Update jokes. Maybe you guys remember this. The news story was like, so Facebook announced today that there will now be 50 genders to choose from, like in their, you know, when you sign up for Facebook. Yeah. And then the punchline was, and that's why Donald Trump is the president. And for that joke, people lit this guy up. They were like attacking him on Twitter. Like, how dare you? The gender rights are blah, 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 blah. And I'm just kind of like, gosh, you guys are just like proving the joke. Like, holy crap, man.
Way to go.
We've I mean we've talked about this on the Sausage Factory before about the whole PC agenda, the whatever it is, you know, and it's you know, I consider myself to be a liberal person, but I look at these people and I go, God, you know, grow a pair.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. During Obama's tenure, the country and the world took a hard left. I mean, headed toward socialism, headed toward things that, you know, old people are still afraid of because they remember the 50s, right?
Yeah.
And so they pulled back hard, but maybe they went too far, but it was an equal reaction. So maybe we shouldn't have went so far left in the first place, and we wouldn't be where we're at right now.
And maybe, Mike, if we looked at history and we were aware of it, we would know these things. You know,
Exactly.
there's no interest in learning from history. Holy shit, man!
Let's ask our resident representative of this awful, you know, movement, our resident millennial Orc. Orc, why'd you let this happen to the world?
I don't know. Well, I just saw Bruce Jenner's amazing face, and it smiled at me, and I really liked, you know, what it had to offer. But I don't know. What are you laughing at?
I heard that Caitlyn Jenner is doing a nude spread this year. Is that true?
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I hope so. You guys won't see me for months.
Have you guys been watching South Park lately? Have you seen the past 2 seasons of South Park, by the way?
Bro, South Park episode 96, man.
Well, listen, if you haven't, you need to like catch up because they've basically done they did a whole plot line where Mr. Mac, like they in the South Park universe, they actually killed Donald Trump. So Mr. Mackey like ran for not Mr. Mackey, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrison ran for president, and he's basically Donald Trump. At one point he even puts on like an orange-haired wig, but his vice president is Caitlyn Jenner, and the animation for Caitlyn Jenner is hilarious. Like half of his face kind of hangs like he's had a stroke, like he looks like he's just pieced together, and every time he drives anywhere he runs people over. So so it's, if you haven't like caught up on South Park, watch the past couple of seasons because that's been really funny to see. Sorry, a little diversion, but Caitlyn Jenner is the threat.
Let me. Cole is watching. He's in the chat tonight with us. How are you doing, Cole? Let's see. Max Punishment wants you to unblock him on Steam. Orc.
Bro, you've been sending those comments. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm getting scared. All right? I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But let's does anybody have anything they want to say in closing about the slate of summer movies coming out this year? Does anybody have anything that they want to say in closing about any of the topics that we discussed tonight on the show? There were a great many.
I think it's indicative of this summer's movies quality, the fact that we've talked about everything else but those movies tonight.
Slim pickings. Slim pickings.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it's a better summer for TV. I mean, Game of Thrones is coming out. There's Twin Peaks. Fargo's still. I mean, lots of good stuff on the summer from that perspective.
Concerning summer movies, I did want to talking about Wonder Woman. You probably heard about the Alamo Drafthouse and their female-only showings of Wonder Woman. That's caused a bit of a stir.
Wait, what? I didn't hear this.
Yeah.
Fill Orc in. Fill everybody in who doesn't know, Mike.
Alamo Drafthouse has decided that in honor of a female superhero, to empower women, that the premieres, the first couple showings will be women only. And
At
some people
night.
some people got mad about that. I personally don't care. I don't. But there again, I don't understand, because for me, Ripley was a strong female character, 30 some years ago. So I don't really understand. Oh, Wonder Woman, the very first. What about Catwoman? I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but it was a female, driven role. Wonder Woman was a TV series in the 70s. I mean, I don't get all the why this movie. It's almost like the people that hated you for not wanting to see Ghostbusters finally have a good movie to champion.
Right.
Well, here's what's happening. Alamo Drafthouse, they like publicity, so they set up a screening.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are really interested. Then that gets publicity, and then when people have a backlash against it, that gets publicity, and they look like the good people. I mean, the men can go see it all day long at this theater, except for like one show they're having women, and then the next day it's not like the women are only get to see it the first day all day long,
But
and the guys
people
can't
complained, and then the Drafthouse responded by adding more female-only showings. Which
I'm gonna cut my penis off.
What does that say about where we're going?
What if you identify as a woman? That's all I'm saying.
Those folks are buying tickets and going into the theater. There's already been some of that. I think I'll be honest. I don't think Alamo did this to like start any shit. If they did, they're so smart and they can estimate the future. But I think they were just doing it purely as like a marketing gimmick. Like, hey, it's Wonder Woman, women only showings, and even they've pointed out like. It'll be showing in one theater and in exactly like another theater anybody can go. It's a gimmick. It's a thing. I don't think they were trolling anybody, but I think now they are. I mean, I think since certain people came out and were like, "Oh my God, how dare you!"
Well, there's other stuff going on in the country, though. There seems to be a really positive attitude towards segregation in modern times. That I grew up thinking that was bad. Right. I was a child. I'm born in the late 60s, grew up in the 70s. Then we had the Jeffersons. We had Good Times. We had all these shows where we were all equal and how it was wrong to segregate and how we should all be able to live wherever we wanted to. And then you have this with the Wonder Woman movie. And before that, it was a major college had a graduation where the black students requested to graduate separately.
Yeah.
Have a segregated graduation. And there's cities where people are willingly segregating themselves. And to me, this is going backwards. This is wrong. I mean, what again, we did not learn from the past and the civil rights movement in the 60s.
No, they haven't learned.
I grew up in the aftermath of the Vietnam War and all that stuff. And it's like we're going right back toward that. And it just infuriates the shit out of me.
Let me ask a question. If you had a movie and then they said it was men only, would you have gotten the same reaction? Or worse reaction.
It was got worse, far worse.
And what about the Tupac movie coming out? Is that going to be like a black only screening? And are they going to come out with a movie with a white only? Are white people and black people going to take turns riding on the back of the bus now? I mean, where are we going?
Okay, but that's the thing. Why? I mean, I agree with you, but why would that get a worse reaction if it was like men only?
Well, because it's men.
That says something. Right.
Well, because it would have actually, because so the women only thing got the attention that it did because some, like some random people were kind of like, oh God, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Whereas if it had been, like you say, a men only screening, like CNN would have had articles about it.
Yeah.
It would have been all over
Exactly.
NBC News.
Proof of the
Like, there'd be
patriarchy.
there'd be all this like crap attacking it. Whereas here, the
Right.
news story is more about, oh man, look at these men, like, being all
Exactly.
butthurt and snowflakes about this. Which, by the way, I kind of think they are being a little bit. I actually do. If they want to have a women-only screening, okay. It's not like I'm being prevented from watching it. But I agree with Mike's perspective that it's like, why do that in the first place? Like, I thought the point is to move away from those things. I 100% agree with that perspective. That's my thought process too.
Because
I don't give a shit that they're doing it, but I just think that it's a symptom of a larger growing problem.
Yeah.
That I see. And
because
I like
as much as people want equality, they don't want to practice equality.
it. No, they want superiority in the form of what they call equality, which
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Mike, you're a faggot.
Cockmuncher.
Well played.
And that's what most people would say.
No, because in a world where everybody's equal, nobody's special, and you can't be special in that world. So I don't know what they want.
Yeah, but how can you do that in an internet world where you basically create your own Kim Kardashian profile, where you have all these people who follow you and worship you? If you make a YouTube video or you have a tweet, everyone's becoming like their own like property, and they can advertise themselves, and it's just like, so everyone's living in an insular world anyway, and so I don't know. I mean, who is it? Stephen Hawking says he gives us another 100 years before the human race is gone. So
that wouldn't shock me. But people may think I'm racist or whatever. I'm an old white guy with blue eyes, bald headed, whatever. It's not true. I have friends of all colors, creeds, whatever. I have gay friends, and I have gay friends that don't understand the gender thing. They're older, and there's like these 32 flavors of gender. You're either gay, straight, or bi, and everything else is a variant of that. And why is it so important? They don't understand that either.
Well, why was it when I met you in Orlando that time, Mike? You were wearing those black combat boots with white laces, and I was like, I'm just kidding. Let's not forget one very, very important thing regarding Wonder Woman. And I know everybody's saying, Wonder Woman, it's the first big female-led, superhero movie and blah, blah, blah. And I hate how they've overlooked Elektra. Because
and Supergirl, Helen Shaver.
Supergirl back in the 80s.
Oh my God, that movie is so painful.
Yeah, but it still qualifies.
Sorry. It certainly does qualify.
I just wanted to throw Elektra out there because that's such a great movie. So
it's so good that when Jennifer Gardner's co-stars from Alias said, "Oh, we need to go see that movie," she told them, "Don't. It's horrible." And that was before the director's cut came out, so who knows?
Oh, there's an Elektra director's cut too?
Oh yeah, it's on
Wow.
yeah.
I actually thought the R-rated version of Daredevil was pretty good. Actually,
it's pretty good.
Not a masterpiece, but I liked it a lot better than what we got through the other version.
Yeah,
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go ahead and
I think the last thing we got to end is fuck Alien Covenant.
So,
Hey, burritos.
yeah, Cole is actually calling attention. There's some sort of like propagandist in the chat. What is going on over here?
I was going to say, who's the propagandist here? So
Pasting something out of like Karl Marx or something.
Oh, goodness.
What's going on there?
he might be talking about me for bringing up Elektra, that I'm the propagandist. I don't know, but
Whatever happened to Jennifer Gardner? She doesn't do anything anymore, and when she does, it's like these weird like Bible movies.
Well, she got divorced from Ben Affleck, and she took half of his everything, so she doesn't even do anything ever.
And apparently she's the reason why Ben Affleck didn't talk to Kevin Smith for all that time. That she blocked their friendship. So
What?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Because she doesn't like Kevin Smith. So
Typical cock block.
I don't blame her.
Sometimes you just gotta know the bro code, okay?
Oh man,
Of course,
We've got-
if you see yogurt holes, you'd block them too. So.
We've gone
I
on
miss
for
you,
way
Orc.
too long, guys.
I
We've
miss
gone
you,
on
Orc.
for
I
way
really do.
Miss you too, buddy.
Orc, let's close this vlogcast by taking a step into Orc's corner. What do you got for us tonight, Orc?
Not a fucking thing. All right, Golden State's up 82-68, boys. Here we go.
Oh my god! All right. Well,
I don't know. Buy Friday the 13th on whatever platform you have. Good game. It's fun.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's go. We've had quite a lively discussion tonight, and I think we proved that the slate of summer movies coming out for the rest of this summer is not really. There's not a lot there because we talked about a lot of things that were not summer movie related in this summer movie preview show. But yeah. Anyway, I want to give a big thanks to all you guys for joining me on this vlogcast. I appreciate it. Big thanks to everybody who made the live chat so lively and entertaining. We appreciate that as well. So we'll definitely do some more vlogcasts throughout the summer, and we'll go ahead.
I was just gonna say the Alien Covenant Blu-ray I think comes out in August, so in case anyone wants to see it after our raving reviews.
Mark your calendars for the 2.5-hour Blu-ray version of Alien Covenant. And yeah,
maybe it has a Ridley Scott commentary, so we know what the hell he was thinking.
He's gonna watch this, and he's actually gonna call you guys out.
I bet he does.
I think
he has nothing.
I bet he does. So
I think
call
he's.
him out.
I think he's going to watch this and he's going to say, "I want to hire that disembodied voice to write Alien Awakening for me."
In fact, our talk about that movie is so strong. We should do the commentary and just take it down.
Oh,
The next movie called Alien Dank Memes.
that would be awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. You guys have a great one. Thanks for tuning in again. Y'all take care. We'll see you again soon.
You had me at dank.
Later.
Right.